I have something really fun today. We are going to do a huge stamp set from Altenew, and it's different. I don't know if they've done one like this before, but it's different. We're going to use one stamp and we're going to create 3 cards. So let me grab those for you so you can see them, and then I'll switch over to that overhead cam. But we're going to make 3 different cards with the One Go friendship. So it's going to be super fun. Okay, good. So y'all can hear me fine. Good. Okay, new microphone that is very large and wants to hang off here, but that's okay. It'll be fine. We're going to have lots of fun making cards. We just won't have my face up in the corner like it usually is. I guess it's usually on this side. So I'm going to switch to the overhead and just make sure everything's looking good there. If we get cut off during this live stream and we need to restart, look on my social media and I'll tell you another time if we need to try to do this again later. But right now, I think we're going. And I know that this is always so stressful. And I'm getting emails right now, so you may hear that coming in too. I'll get emails, people asking if we canceled. So hopefully they'll just check back again and realize that we're here. If any of you have the ability to run to the Altenew fan group, since this is the fan group takeover, would you please put in the Altenew fan group, Nikki's a little late, but she's here, so that they come on over and they can get over here. So we've got lots of fun things today. We're going to use this one stamp set. Let me show you a couple of these cards because they are so cute. I really love, we're going to play with some paste on this one. We're going to use the fun arches, and we're going to play with a different way to use a stencil on this. So it's going to be lots of fun. Okay, yes, so if anybody is able to put that in the Altenew fan group, if you're an Altenew fan group member, this is the Altenew fan group takeover, and so I want to make sure that we got that. So let me pop back in here. So I'm going to grab the supplies, and we are going to get started. We're going to do some stamping, we're going to do some stenciling, we're going to play with paste. It's going to be so much fun. I want to say hello to everybody out there. I see Arlene's out there. Hey, Arlene. Rachel is here with us. She's going to be dropping in links. A couple things I wanted to tell you about, just because I want to make sure that that I get it out there, is that if you have not signed up for the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit, make sure you do that. It is starting next week, and I am presenting there and would love to have you. I'll mention some more about that in a minute, but let me grab my supplies. So let's grab supplies. This is the main set that we'll be using today. Let me put it to my overhead. It's called One Go Friendship Flowers. And the interesting thing about this set is that this is all connected. So most of the time when you get a big stamp set like this, you have individual flowers. But for this one, you are going to see that this being connected makes it a different plan, and it really makes it so much faster. I love being able to stamp tons of flowers and then either use them all on one project, or like we're going to do today, use them all on separate projects, because you get so much out of it. So if you're going to spend all the time stenciling and working on it, it sure is nice to get a whole lot out of it. It is such a lovely set. It's called One Go Friendship Flowers. So this is definitely a set that I'm going to use my larger stamp wheel for, because I feel like that just gives me a little bit of extra room. So here's how it's going. Okay, so I'm going to use this larger one, and I know we've zoomed in the camera, but you see how that fits? And we're going to stamp as much of this as we can, because I want to make 3 different cards. So I'm going to stamp several different sentiments. We're going to stamp the whole thing that we're going to use. It's going to be fun. I'm actually going to stamp in black. I'll be using this Altenew Obsidian pigment ink. I'm going to stamp in black, and then I am going to heat emboss just so we can get right into the stenciling. You can let your black ink dry, but it a lot of times will take just a little bit. Sorry. Okay, good. So somebody else said they already have this one. That's good. Yay. And did anybody, I see lots of fun things. Let me just kind of check that. Okay, also I'm having to read my comments a little bit different, so make sure if you have a question today that you put in all caps, question. That helps me see it on this little bitty font. Okay, so I'm going to add some embossing powder, or this is anti-static powder, and I'm just going to go all over this page because we are going to do a ton of stamping, and I'm going to add some clear embossing to it. So tell me where you're coming in from. I've seen some people pop in where they're here from today, but I'd love to hear where all of you are watching from today. All righty. So this big thing is one huge stamp. And you're going to see, I like to do something, especially when I've got a big stamp like this that's supposed to be die cut. I am going to hold the die cut up and make sure that I line this up correctly, because I don't want to bend my stamp or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp here. And then I'm just going to make sure that I didn't crease or bend it. Let's see if we can figure out which way it goes. I think it goes this way. And just make sure that everything is lined up. If you don't do that, that's okay. It helps you when you're stamping that you haven't moved your stamp around, and that things will line up when it's time to cut. The other way you can do this, and I do this sometimes, is go on and cut the paper and then line your stamp up, especially when you've got a sticky mat right here. Oh goodness, Mexico? Awesome. I see some California, South Carolina. So now that I know I've got that lined up, I'm going to carefully remove the die part, put it back in our little container over here, and then I'll use the stamp wheel to pick up our large stamp. So I'm going to pick it up here. All right. We're going to do more than just this, because I want to do all these sentiments too. So we're going to use the friend, the hugs. We're going to do a few of these little, whatever they're called. Let's see what they say. Thinking of you. What would I do without you? Sending good vibes. Thank you very much. Lots of good ones. So what I tend to do is go ahead and have my stamp laying down like this, and then try to decide where I can fit these. So I can definitely fit one here. You just want to give enough room that when you die cut this, you're not interrupting your sentiment, okay? So I can put one there. I think I'm going to put another one right here. We're just in the process of not wasting space. Oh, Canada. I see Canada. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So how many of you, if you found me or realized that this was happening because you were in the Altenew Fan group, make sure you hit a thumbs up, or actually in the comments, why don't you say, if you were in the Altenew Fan group, put like an A in the comments. If you're not in the Altenew Fan group and you're just usually watching, you're on my newsletter or something like that, put like B. So we know A came from Altenew, B is from my list. I just love seeing who's here. Okay, so we got those two big ones. Now we need these. Let's just do quite a few of these just so we've got them. We'll do thinking of you. What would I do without you? I like that this one, I think this one actually has happy birthday. Yeah, I really love having a happy birthday. So we're going to do a few of these little sentiment strips as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this back down and decide. Now when I do sentiment strips, because I know I'm likely to cut them along an edge, I really want to line them up even. Okay, good. So I see some A's, I see some B's. Is it anybody's first time here? So I'm going to try to line, I'm trying to get this as close to the edge as I can so it'll be an easy little strip to cut. So I don't know if y'all ever do that or not. Those sentiment strips can sometimes be hard to get even, and it can also be really hard to cut them. So I'm going to line it along this bottom edge so that I can do it very easily and hopefully in one swift cut and get 3 sentiments. Let's see how that does. So I got 3 on there. Okay, so that should make those easy just to chop off the bottom, which I love. Okay. Oh, can you see that okay on there? Yes, and then I've got one more I was going to do. So let's do that one along this edge. I think I'm going to go right about here. Let's see where our thing hits. Yeah, let's go like right. No, let's do this edge. And we still have spots on here if we wanted to put even more stamping, we could. But I'm going to line this one up so it's an easy cutout as well. I think I got it pretty even. It may be a little crooked. Okay, so can y'all see that? We lined up all those sentiment strips right along the bottom right here. And that's so that you can take a paper trimmer, cut along that, and not worry about it. Okay, super nice. Sorry. I'm just looking, I see something, but okay. So let's go ahead and get this inked up. Thanks. Oh, I see somebody says it is a first time. Hi, so happy to have you. Usually my face is popped up in the corner here, but we have been having some technical difficulties. Actually, while I ink this up, I'll talk to y'all because I hate not like looking at the camera. So whatever. So I'm going to start inking this up with Obsidian, but you know, it takes a while to ink up a stamp. So I'll show you, I'll flip it back over when we do. But I'm so glad to see all of the first timers. I am Nicki of Nicki Hearts Cards, obviously, and I am a new member of the Altenew design team, and I'm taking over the Facebook group today. So that basically means we're just doing a fun tutorial, just so there's something fun from Altenew on the weekend. And so this is my first time taking over the Facebook group. So we've got a couple of fun things coming. We have a giveaway during the live, and we have a giveaway during the replay. All you need to do is comment when I ask you a question. I'll have you comment on that, and that will enter you in the live giveaway. The other thing I was going to do is issue a challenge. If you're creating along with me today, why don't you say yes or no? Are you creating while I create? Anybody got this set or got another big floral they're playing with? Okay, let me flip my camera. So if you are playing along with me today, I'm going to issue a challenge, and we're going to put our results in the Altenew fan group. So if you're not a member of that group on Facebook, make sure you become a member, and I want you to tag me in your post. But the challenge is use a large floral and create 3 different cards with it. Doesn't have to be this one, but I would just love to see what you're doing out there and how you took this challenge. So I've got this mostly inked up. We'll still do this a couple times because if you know me, you know I like to make sure that it's good and inked up. So we got a nice outline. Not creating along today, that's fine. You can always come back and watch and create with me another day, or you can just hang out with us because we love hanging out. That's perfectly fine to watch and not do anything else. So are y'all able, if you are my old school people who've been to lots and lots of live streams, can you tell a difference in this microphone? I'll tell you what happened to the last one. The last one, I was finishing up the live stream last time, and I grabbed it, and it just, like the clip part of it just fell apart. And apparently, for some reason, the microphone people don't sell a replacement. They want you to buy a whole nother microphone. So this is the only microphone I could get in time for the live stream today. So I am trying it out, and we'll see. My husband actually thinks he likes this one better, but we'll see. I'm just going along. It's a pretty easy to use one, thank goodness. Although we did have a little glitch today. Okay. Alrighty. So do you usually use your stamp sets the same time every way? Like, do you kind of come up with a card plan and always use that same set for that? Or do you try to do different things each time you stamp? Are you the same or different? How about that? Put that in the chat as well. Oh, I see somebody's doing both. Okay, I'm going to give that one more. I'm going to add our big sentiments again too, so that we can get a couple more of those out of this. So I'm going to stamp kind of right in the middle, just needs just a little bit more. And then we'll change out our friends and hugs. Let me give hugs just a little bit. I'll give it just a little bit more. See a little bit here, a little bit here that might need it. Okay. So we'll do this. So we're just getting it all done in one nice package here. I love that. Yeah, it depends on if you really like the first card. I see that. That's a good plan. Okay, so we got all these here. I'm going to carefully, and probably wipe these off so they don't get black all over me. But I'm going to wipe off friend and hugs, and I'm going to stamp them again somewhere else on this page. So because we've got a little bit of empty space, and it never hurts to have a couple. So I'm just going to wipe them off and find us a new place on this paper. So I think I could fit, I might be able to fit friend right there. Yeah, I think I could fit friend right here. Maybe just a little bit further up. And then I could fit hugs right here. You do want to make sure you got them nice and dry. Sometimes that's the case. I'm definitely going to get black on my hands too, but whatever. And you really do have some time, even though we're going to be heat embossing these, you got time, so don't worry. That ink stays wet for a little while. Okay, let's do those two, and then we will heat emboss this. And with the heat embossing, like I said, because this is a new microphone, I don't know if it will pick up the heat embossing or not. So if it's real loud and annoying to you, I can always mute my microphone. Y'all just will tell me. So I'm just going to try just to ink up the Hugs and Friend. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Now, if y'all are shopping today, we don't have a coupon or anything like this. This is part of the new release. It's called One Go Friendship. And it is, we don't have a sale, but we've got a giveaway today. So it's a really fun set. I am thinking it is one of my faves. I really love it. And I think it's real useful. And the flowers are not super hard to stencil. We're going to do some, ooh, look at that. That looks awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and heat emboss this. And what I did not prepare for is I didn't get myself a really big container. So we're going to have to be kind of careful as we emboss this because I'm probably going to get embossing powder everywhere. But that's okay. We will do it anyway. So what I'm going to do is flatten out this. I've got another piece of paper. Here. I got a scrap piece of paper that'll help. I'm going to try to catch it in this part if I can. And I'm just going to put clear heat embossing over it. So you got to be careful when you touch it. I also have to be careful because I've got black ink on my hands. So here's what I'm going to use. It's called Clear Gloss Super Fine. Oh, yay, I'm glad y'all are signed up. So Paper Crafters Get Organized. I said I would tell you more about that. So what that is a summit about organization, and it has a free ticket and it has a paid ticket. So the free ticket, you can watch the pre-recorded sessions during like a 24-hour period. So my pre-recorded session, I'm taking you through my theory of organization and all through my craft room. And then for the paid ticket, you can use, you can watch the live sessions, which are more like Zoom sessions. So on my live session, we are going to organize something from start to finish, probably paper, but as many things as we can get to, and I'm going to help you with any questions you have on organizing, give you ideas, but also we're just going to kind of hang out together on Zoom. So super fun. If you haven't done it yet, you at least should sign up for the free one. That would be fun. I'd love to have you there. Okay. And I know Rachel will put that link in there. Thank you. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so now all we need to do is heat this up. So here's where I'm going to need your help because I do not know and have not tried heat embossing with this new microphone. So I'm not sure if it's a noise canceling microphone. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to start heat embossing. If it is super loud and annoying, please start putting in the chat like a quiet or be quiet or it's too loud. I don't know. Just put loud in there. How about that? Put loud in the chat if that's the case. And I will try to mute my mic. I think I know how to do that. Okay, so we'll start turning it on. I got to let it heat up just a little bit. So I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to keep talking and you tell me if this is too loud. If it's too loud, I'll mute. Yeah. Arlene says she wants a summit where Nicki comes here to organize her paper. So always let your machine get hot. Yeah, the stamp wheel. I've been doing a lot of reels on the stamp wheel. Super amazing. So I'm letting this get hot. How are we doing on sound? Are we doing okay on sound? Can you still hear my voice? Not too loud? Oh, okay, good. So maybe it is noise canceling. So we're going to start doing this. This is kind of a, oh, good. I'm so glad. You can hardly hear it. Awesome. So I'm going to heat this up. You always want to let this get a little bit hot. Yay, thank you. That's so good to hear. After all of that crazy trouble, it's always nice to hear that something's working, right? So we will, I'm going to have to do a lot of Googling and figuring out my eCam before I'm live again. I'll probably be live in a couple of weeks. Not sure if I'm going to be live next week. Ooh, look at that. Look at how beautiful that black looks. Yeah, the stamp wheel, I highly, highly recommend. It is my favorite stamping thing. I just love it. And I'm going to use, I love the sticky mat part. I'll use the sticky mat when we're doing this stencil. I'll show you how that makes it a lot easier too. We're also going to use a decent amount of Post-it notes for masking. So if you're wondering what in the world I'm doing with all the Post-it notes, it's just to cover up so we can do different colors. Because all these flowers and layers are the same, you could easily do all of the layers the same and create one color. But I decided I was going to make 3 colors of my flowers, because why not? So oh, awesome. Well, Debbie, I'm sorry his soccer game was canceled, but I'm glad you got to be here. So do y'all feel like you're good about using your stamp sets multiple times, or are you kind of one of those, I use it and then I go and find another one that I like? I'd like to know, like, how many uses, let's go with this. How many uses do you think you get out of a certain stamp set? Okay. So I'm going to show y'all how I do this because you're going to laugh. So I'm going to put my face on camera real quick. Okay, when I am looking at heat embossing, I am looking like this close to be like, do I see any powder? Do you see any powder, anything that hasn't turned? And I tilt it in the light because I want to make sure that I've gotten it all, but you don't want to run your hand over it. So if you run your hand over it and it's not done, then you're going to knock off that. And I think we're pretty good. I'm going to hit the middle of this flower right here, and then I think we're good on everything else. Yeah, I understand the barely use some. I'm going to flip to the overhead. Okay, so here is our thing. Let's make sure I got it. Now we can do, I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut out the center so that we don't worry about getting any of our ink on these pieces. So let's go ahead. Let me wipe this off while I look at questions. Tell me if you got any questions. I see lots of stuff about the stamp sets. I mean, I have to challenge myself to use them multiple times, partly because I do this, you know, as my job. So a lot of times I'm getting so many different ones, but there are those certain sets that you just use over and over again. For sure. I try to keep up with what those are and put them in a video at the end of each year and be like, these are the ones I used about 1 billion times, so that y'all can know which ones seem to have the most use if you're doing your Christmas list. Good, thank you. So have y'all tried, I'd love to know if you've tried the new relief paste yet. Have you tried the relief paste? Because we're going to use one of the new ones on these. Okay, so I've got that taken care of. I'm probably just going to leave that on the stamp wheel because we don't need to stamp anymore. But let's get out our die. Let's put this back here. Let's get out our die, and I'm going to cut out the center of this before we do. Actually, I'm just going to cut around it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut like this and just cut off my pieces that I know we're okay with. So I'm just kind of giving myself a wide berth around this so that I can definitely die cut everything, especially when you get a couple of sentiments plus the edge. You know, you always need about I don't know what it is, past the thing, because it's going to have like a little bit of white on your die cut. Probably about 1/8 of an inch maybe that it sticks out. Somebody might know what that actual measurement is. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And this is just to protect all of our pieces from me accidentally ink blending on this and then getting it on my sentiment. Okay, and we could go ahead and cut it out, but I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to go ahead and ink blend, and then we'll cut it out. So while we're here, I'm going to chat for a minute and cut out we'll get a couple of our sentiments ready, and then we'll get all our colors out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the friend and hugs just so that these are taken care of, and then we don't have to do them at the end. And then we're going to get out our stencils, and we're going to have a blast. Oh, yay. Thank you so much. I think that's Jackie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I didn't read your name wrong, but it is so small on my screen right now with me having a little technical difficulties today. We're going to be using these stencils, and I cannot wait to tell you. You have to see my face. I cannot wait to tell you the special thing about these stencils. There's something unique in this stencil set that doesn't happen very often, and so we're going to look at that. So just stay tuned. I'm going to go back to my overhead, and let's cut out these hugs and friends and get that taken care of. So we'll just do a little die cutting and chat. Let's see what we can chat about. I'm reading some of the things. I see some people haven't used relief paste yet. So we'll do hugs and friend. We'll get these taken care of. And that way we have them set aside and just ready to put on our cards when we're done. So have y'all all entered in the Instagram hop for Altenew? There's an Instagram hop. I think it goes through today for some prizes, but I also had a little fun thing to tell you. I hit 30,000 on YouTube, and I am doing on Wednesday with about 14 people. We're all celebrating, and we have so many prizes. So if you are not following on Instagram, I think it's like $500 worth of prizes. So make sure you're following so you can join that Instagram hop. Super fun. I'm gonna talk to y'all again while I die cut. So I'm just gonna die cut. But yeah, that Instagram hop is gonna be full of prizes. So you see that I have a magnetic mat that I use for my die cutting, but I use a little bit of tape as well. Okay, so good. Denise has already entered the Instagram hop. Hey, Denise, I sent you your prize from that other live stream. I sent it about 2 days ago, so make sure you let me know when you get that. Denise was the winner of one of the replays, and she, so there's a die on the way to her house, and I'm always want to know that it makes it. Thank you. So it's on a YouTube, it's a YouTube milestone, but we're going to do the hop on Instagram because it's not very easy to do a hop on YouTube. Even like these giveaways are very hard for me to contact people. It always helps if you happen to be on my email list so that I can get a hold of you easier, because people a lot of times don't claim their prizes. Look at how good that looks from the replay. So always check the pinned comment about a week after the thing. That's when I announce replay winners. And see if you're one of them, because sometimes it's like I have trouble catching them and giving away stuff. So today we've got $15 gift cards from Altenew. We have a live one and a replay one. And like I said, we've got a challenge going on too. So the challenge is going to be post in the Instagram or post in the Facebook group if you make a card with multiple backgrounds in the same stamp set, post it as your entry. And I am going to send one of these cards that we make today as I'm just going to draw one of the people who completes the challenge, and I'm going to send them one of the cards. So if you want to hold on to one of these cards, then definitely make sure you enter that challenge. You'll need to enter that on the Altenew Facebook group, and you'll need to put, hold on. You need to tag me. You can always tag me by putting @Nicki Hearts Cards. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Rachel, please hit the thumbs up if you're here. That helps people find this replay. Oh, look at that. That looks good. Okay, so we got these cut out. We'll cut out our other strips as we need them. Oh, I love this font. It is a great font. That's another thing that I kind of judge stamp sets on, is what kind of font are the sentiments, and do we have a die for those sentiments? That is like one of those things that just makes me super happy, is having a die for the sentiments as well. Okay, I'm going to put both of these in a little container over here. Do y'all ever go back and like, do you keep pictures of your old cards? I have started doing this where I love to keep pictures of my old cards and then consider remaking them kind of in my new style because you know it's always evolving. Thank you. Oh, thanks guys for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right, let me put these back in here so I don't lose them. Y'all will know that on a live stream, your desk gets very messy, very fast. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. Let's do some blending. So we are going to do some stenciling. Uh-oh. Sometimes it loves to do that. That's one of those times where my camera loves to just click on and see what I'm up to, I guess. So here I'm using my large Altenew 9x12 sticky mat. It is sticky, so it's gonna hold this really well. Let's look at these stencils and I'm gonna try to line up my piece based on what way the stencils go. So the stencils seem to fit. Is it that one? You know how it goes. Sometimes you tilt things differently. Yeah, this is going to be it, I think. Okay, so this is stencil number 1. Alrighty. Okay, so it definitely goes kind of like this. So here we go. I may add just a smidge of tape right there just to be safe. And then we're going to line up this stencil. And I'm going to use Post-it notes. You can use anything you have, a spare piece of paper, whatever, but I'm going to do a little bit of masking so that we can create some different color flowers because it looks good with multicolor flowers. I really like how it looks. So these little small flowers, I think I'm going to keep those as yellows, and I'm going to try to go like purple is kind of like this looking flower. We'll do purple and pink over here. We'll just kind of spread it around a little bit. I kind of kept this crew because it's hard to change. I kind of kept most of that pink. So let me show you the colors we're going to use. There are 3 layers of this stencil. So even though the beginning of this color family starts with frosty pink, I am going to start with coral berry. We're going to make it a little bit darker just so that it shows up well because one of the colors that we're using in our background is coral berry. So since I've got these 2 pinks that I'm going to use as backgrounds, I need to make sure that my flowers are a little bit darker. If I don't, they're really going to fade into this background. So just kind of look at what you think you might use as your background. This is coral berry cardstock. This is frosty pink, which is the first color in this set. So frosty pink, coral berry. So we're going to create a little darker flowers. The other reason that I decided to do multicolor flowers is because that also gives it some nice contrast on these darker backgrounds. Okay, so I'm not going to use the frosty pink. I just want to show you that is one of the colors. Okay, so let's start let me grab my Post-it notes. If I can find them. I am going to use these. We're going to use double-sided Post-it notes just because that's what I have. Not double-sided, full stick. I think they're not making these anymore either. All right, so let's decide on our pinks first. I know that this crew is going to be pink because it all connects together right there. So I think I'm going to go pink all through here. That one. And then maybe we'll go purple, purple, purple. Okay, yeah, that works. So pink. And I'm just using sticky notes. You can use whatever you want to cover it up. But I'm going to cover up this one. Try to cover up. Be careful. Cover up the edge here. And that edge. Sometimes you have to tear them just a little bit. There we go. So we'll go pink up here. This one's going to be yellow, but I'm just keeping him under control. And then over here, we're going to do, I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do this one pink. So we'll go a big pink and a smaller purple. See if I got any questions. So I think I'm going to go pink, pink, pink. Okay, I'm going to move these off just so we'll get it back to these. Whoop. as I get them all over my fingers. Hang on. Gonna have some red fingers. Okay, I think I'm gonna go like this one is. And you could use tape to cover these up too, just whatever. Like sometimes tape just fits better. So I'll stick a little piece of tape right here. That way I can do multicolors. And then that top one, I think I'll go pink up there too. So we've got a decent amount of pink except right here, okay? Let's make sure that little one, this one is tricky. Yeah, we may have to play with that just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use my favorite blending brushes. These are these brushes called mini ink blending brushes. They're really nice for this. We're doing kind of a medium color pink, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go with one that's a little bit darker. You can always do this and see if there's any extra ink on it and get it off, but that's what I'm going to use as my brush for that color. And then we'll get, I guess I should go ahead and get out purple. We'll need a green. We're going to need an orange. So we'll use all those. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. I'm gonna pop up my face and answer a couple questions real quick. So, if you have not used these colors, Coral Berry is one of my faves. I love that color. I love that color. And remember to put question if you see a question, and remember that we're doing a live giveaway soon. I'm going to tell Rachel when it's time to do that, and we'll ask a fun question. So let me pop myself back down. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start with Coral Berry. And I'm not going to be super fancy about this. We're just going to get some color on the page, okay? Because the stencils really do it all for you. So just going to kind of lay down some color. So if you haven't tried these brushes, sometimes Altenew will have a deal on them, and they are definitely worth trying. It's a different way of using a brush. You know, sometimes those other ones have handles, so it's probably based on what you want to do, but to me this is like holding a pencil, and it really works well to get a decent amount of color down. So we're going to go there. A little bit here, and just remember the stencils will do the work for you. You don't have to do a whole lot of extra on these. We're just going to get the color pink down where it goes, and the stencil is going to give us all kinds of detail. So I'm using a white paper that is good for ink blending. It's called Bristol Smooth. Yeah, it is a great stamp set. Do you think when we do challenges and things like that, like, do you think that makes you more creative or less creative? Like if I say, hey, use some kind of stamp set in your set and create multiple backgrounds for this Altenew challenge, do you feel like that makes you more creative or less creative? I definitely have an opinion, but I'm going to wait till y'all do some answering first. Yeah, and today I think Altenew is having a sale. Gosh, what is it on? Feels like they're having a sale on one thing. It's like a 1 day only. And I should have looked at that, but I think I was too stressed out about the tech stuff that we're having going on. I think my husband's probably pretty stressed out too since he accidentally hit something. I gotta remember not to let him access my computer when it's time. It's like, no, what did you hit? Oh well, Crafty Doug will recover. All right, so I'm just getting that pink down, kind of going around the edges, making sure this little flower is kind of close to another flower, so I'm just going to try to make sure I got right at the edge. Okay, so those will be our pinks. Now we can take this masking off and we can do some other colors. So when you've got this much pink around it, it's up to you, but sometimes I will take something and wipe down the stencil a little bit because you can get that mixing into your next thing. So I tend to be very cautious and use a little thing and kind of wipe it off. You could use a baby wipe for this, but I'm just taking some of that extra and keeping it from invading in the others, especially when I've got a pretty heavy color like a pink. We don't want it to cause us any trouble over here in these other flowers, so I'm just going to wipe off a little bit. Did anybody happen to post in the Altenew Fan group for me? Can somebody just put a big all caps? Yes, they posted that we were going a little bit late because people are just emailing me and everything trying to figure out what's happening, but it's the same link. They just need to come into the live stream and see that we're here. They just tried it before I was on. So if y'all will let them know, that would be awesome. Oh, it's a customer appreciation gift. Okay, that's what it was. I knew there was something going on today that I was like, oh, yay. That way if people are deciding they're going shopping today, they can make sure and grab some of that. So our first color of purple is going to use Lavender Fields. This is also a middle level. So the first in this color pack is called Soft Lilac. Then it's Lavender Fields, Deep Iris, and Midnight Violet. We're going to start with Lavender Fields, and we're going to use these three. We're not going to use this super light one. Just like we did with the other, just to kind of keep the color consistently. Because if you look across the levels of Altenew inks, generally the second level is about the same darkness, I guess you could say. So a lot of times you can kind of go along and do your blending and be pretty consistent on how the flower looks based on each of those packs. So I'm going to do a little bit of this. We're going to cover up what's going to be our yellow flowers. We're going to cover this up right here. And then I think I'm going to cover that one up because I think I'm going to just have like one yellow flower in this other thing, just so it gets a little bit of color. Let me see. Actually, no, it's too hard to do that. I'm going to do that one as purple because it's connected to this one and it'll be too hard to mask. Okay, we're going to mask that one. So the purple on this level is not too intense. So we'll go purple. Yeah, that balloon dog, oh, that's what it was. It's the balloon dog, right. So that's one of those sets that I never got, and I love it. I think it's so cute. It'd be really good for birthday cards, and it's just a simple, cute one. And I think it's a layered stamp, isn't it? Is it a layered stamp or is it an outline stamp? I see, Megan. You see, I probably should have masked right here too so that I don't go off the stencil. So I'm going to do that just so that I don't accidentally get that leaf. Megan says, I want your craft room. Thanks. Thank you. I put lots of work in this craft room. If any of you are creators and you want to see at some point, I'm going to go live in my Facebook group and show you how the filming in here works. If you are a creator and want to do that, I have a Facebook group called Nicki Hearts Cards YouTube and social media, I believe, and we do, it's for people who are creators and are creating video content so that they can kind of see what all goes into different setups. My setup obviously is for somebody who's been doing this for 6 years, so it's not like everybody has to start that way, but a lot of times people want to know what you're using. So I'm adding lots of purple here. Tamara says, she says, I love it when she brings out the purple. You know I love some purple, don't you? Purple and pink are like, I don't know what I'm saying. I love every color, I guess. Maybe not orange quite as much, but I love purples and pinks and blues and teals, and I think I just love color. Sometimes I'm just like, why can't we have more clothes that are colored? It's like when I'm looking at things, it's all black and white, and I want some colory clothes. So don't forget, if you are here with the Altenew fan group, or even if you're not and you want to join it, that you make sure and compete in the challenge. I will put all the details of the challenge in that group. You got to give me a little hour or so after this is over, and I'm going to make a slide so people know what they're competing on. And it's not like competition. It'll be like we'll draw whoever. But if you want to enter into that and a chance to win one of these cards, then I will get all those details in the fan group how about by the end of the day, since I'm going to be working on tech as soon as this is over, I'm sure. Okay, so here's my beautiful purple flowers. Oh. And like I said, this base layer, you just want to get some color down. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then all we have left on this is these little yellow flowers. So we will mask around those and create some cute yellow flowers. Okay. I know I struggle lining up sentiment dies too. That's why I did where I can have them on the edge of a paper. And then I also, like when I did cut out the sentiment dies, I used some tape too. Even though I've got a magnetic mat, I tape them on there because they just kind of wiggle. When you send it through your machine, sometimes things just move a little bit. So a little bit of tape, the tape that I'm using is this purple tape from Altenew, and it's not like a tape you want to hold a card together. It's more like it won't tear your paper when it releases. So it's a good masking tape. It's good for holding dies down. Highly suggest. Okay, so let's move on to our yellow orange. We're going to start with this chamomile. If you need a orange yellow set of colors, this is my favorite, kind of like orangey yellow, because I just love it. And I think the first color in it might be Sunray. I can't remember what the name of these are. Pink purple, first words of her daughter. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll start with chamomile. And this will be fast because we just have a few little of these. Y'all are going to be shocked when you see this taken off. If you're following me on Instagram, you know that I put out a reel today showing all these layers of stencil reveal. I'm sure there'll probably be another reel soon too that shows more about these cards and the backgrounds. So when we use paste today, we're going to use the Altenew White Relief Paste. That's the new one. And it's super fun. So just get some color down. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to add more layers. Okay, let's make sure we got it all. I'm hanging on to all my sticky notes. And then, of course, are you ready for the reveal? Here we go. This is my favorite part of stencils. Let's get it unstuck. Okay. Layer one. I love that. Okay, let me wipe this off just a little bit. The pink will stain your stencils, so I'm going to use a little thing and try to wipe that off because I didn't bring myself anything to soak my stencils in. So I'm sure I'll get a little bit of staining, but that's okay. That just means I finally used it, right? Okay, let me go ahead and get this second one on, and then we will talk. So if you have seen, Altenew has numbers. Can you see that number? This is number 2. So it helps you with what order you're going. And that's kind of how I do my colors, lightest to darkest. So this is number 2. So we're going to definitely have to do a little bit more masking. Let's see how I had this tilted. Okay. Sorry, y'all going to have to see my head. It is impossible to line up a stencil without looking at the top of somebody's head, I think. Okay. Still missed it down here. And so the nice thing about the sticky mat is like I can start, once I've got part of it lined up here, I can go ahead and stick that edge down and then adjust before I stick all of my edges down. Okay, I think we're about here. Alrighty, so we're definitely going to do some more yellows. I'm going to do some yellows through here. We'll do purple. We'll finish our yellows right there. I don't think that on this one I'm going to do yellow. I think I'm going to do, well, it might be fun just to have one yellow. I don't know. What do y'all think? One yellow in that bouquet? Okay, so let's start with our pinks, where we know pinks are going. So we're going to start masking. This one's going to be a smidge tricky. Okay. I think I missed the rest of that. Okay, there we go. So we need pink, 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 a lot of pink, and go from here. See how y'all are doing. Yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the thumbs up too while you're here. That really helps people see this video later. And I can tell, like, there's like 150 of you here and there's like 70 likes. So just make sure you do that if you hadn't done it yet. We're going to do our second level of red. So we did coral berry as the first. We're going to do ruby red as the next. And I know red is scary. Sometimes red is scary, okay? So, okay, I have a question and I'm going to answer that one. Question. Let me have a sip of water and then I'm going to answer that question. So the question is, do you have problems with bleeding into the yellows, making them look dirty? Okay, so let's go with this. One, are you using heat embossing? Because heat embossing gives you a little bit of a edge that keeps you from having the colors kind of sit there next to each other. I don't personally have that problem, but I almost always heat emboss an image like this. So that may be the difference, is that I'm heat embossing and it's giving me that little ledge, but I also, the stencils usually give you a little bit of space. And if I wipe off my stencils so that I'm not creating a problem, not adding this actual ink into the yellow, then I usually do fine as well. So I don't know if that helps you. If you're not heat embossing your image, then you may need to try that. Okay, so here's our red. Okay, I see another question. Let me just get to that. The next question is, what is release tape and what do you use it for? Okay, so if I'm thinking of the right thing, what I'm thinking of is this purple is release tape. So there's a couple different types of release tape out there. You'll see this one often. It's a yellow from Spellbinders. You'll see this one. And really you could say a Post-it note is release paper. So this is Altenew's, okay? And you could really say this is release paper too in a way, because you're using it, I'm using it to keep it out of the other areas. So it releases from paper without tearing it. So it's very helpful in that regard. So I've got that one done. I'm going to protect. So I'm going to use, this is a Post-it note and I'm going to use it like release tape. I'm going to put it over this and put another Post-it note to cover because those are going to be yellow flowers. And I'm just using it to keep my ink from going in there. Does that answer the question? Yeah, so I try not to get my hands inky, and I will tell you before, if you have trouble with them smudging, I keep this wet rag over here. So I keep my wet rag that I wipe stamps off with, and it usually, so see I've got a smudge right now, it usually does a pretty good job. Sometimes they dry into my fingers, but I tend to wipe my hands off before I'm going to start any of the white parts, and that has worked at not smudging them. So it may stain my fingers, but it still is wiped off as far as what it can do. And you see that I'm holding my fingers here versus in the inked area so that I hopefully lessen how much ink I'm getting on them. Yeah, baby wipes work great. They do. Okay. So I definitely say that when I did this one, I did a lot more red than anything else. And you got to be really careful when you get close to that, because I'm close to the yellows and don't have them masked right there. So I'm going to be very cautious. Very cautious. Y'all are going to be shocked when you see this level come off. I just think that it really shows you how amazing these stencils are. Okay. Now we got purple, purple. Everything else is going to be purple and yellow. So let's work on that. So I call it release because it doesn't stick and hurt anything. So these are definitely going to be yellow. I think I'm going to take that one as yellow. So since I'm going to be doing yellow and I have red right here, I'm going to wipe some of that red off before we start our next blending. And we still need to do a little bit of purple down here too. Okay, and purple there too. So I'm going to take this little rag and I'm going to put it right here and just barely get this off. This is also a baby wipe works well this way, but I'm just keeping it from getting into my other one. Okay, a wet paper towel could work this way, basically anything. It's amazing how much ink you get on the stencil. So especially right here where there's going to be a yellow flower, you want to do this. You can do this with Q-tips. Just trying to get some of that color off, so I'm careful with it. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to purple. So we'll do our next level of purple, which is called Deep Iris. That should be good. And then we'll do the yellows. So we'll do Deep Iris first because there's only 1, 2, 3 areas of that. And I can do a pretty quick coverage of all these. This is the only tricky one because you've got part of a leaf right there. Thank you for explaining that, Rachel. Rachel is so helpful to me. Thank you so much, Rachel. She helps me with these live streams and she gets the frantic calls like I called her a little while ago. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't get it to work. She's so calm and helpful. So let's give Rachel a thumbs up. How about that? Let's give Rachel a thumbs up. She's Card Refinery, who's putting all of those links in there. Makes my life a lot easier, and she's so helpful to me. And if ever any of y'all want to be on call for if Rachel's internet goes out or anything like that, you want to be on call and be the helper, y'all just email me at some point, let me know. If you're always at the live streams and you're like, yeah, I could drop links in there. Most of the time, Rachel is able to do it, but I know today she was having internet work done too, so we were both worried we weren't getting here. Alrighty. So I'm just adding this darker purple around here. Oh my goodness, y'all are going to die when you see this. It looks so good. I know it's hard to tell right now, but it looks so good. Okay, we're going to get this one little flower up here too, which might be a bit of a challenge. And like I said, I just follow along with the stencil. If it's stencil level 2, I'm on ink level 2. So if you haven't ever done that before, that's a really easy way to keep your colors under control, is by going along and just assigning a level. So we're doing, oh yeah, lots of thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's do the yellow flowers now. So we're going to do these yellow flowers a little bit darker. We're going to get rid of our Deep Iris. Our next level of yellow is called Snapdragon. This is my favorite color of like an orange yellow. Snapdragon, if you were to ask me any day, what is your favorite color if you're going to use like an orange or a yellow? Snapdragon. Love this color. So I'm going to try to cover up with my release paper everything that still has a little bit of ink on it too, because I'm going to try to do a yellow right in here. So we're going to make sure this isn't dirty. This probably is a little too dirty to use, so let's get a different one. How about if I use a piece of tape instead? Because the color on the edge of this might make it dirty like you were talking about. Oh, thanks. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I know Rachel even managed to get a post on Facebook. Thank you. Did you get that in the Altenew group? Oh man. So why don't y'all tell me what you want to see more of in my cards? Are you huge embossing folder fans? Are you loving the paste? Do you just want me to help you stretch your supplies? Just tell me what you're enjoying. And I would love to hear about it so that I can make more of whatever content you're looking for. So I'm going to cover these two up. And we're going to do a lot of yellow right here. Oops, that does not work. I need to get a new piece, maybe a new Post-it note. Alrighty. I'm looking. Yes, there are tiny brushes. I will say there are tiny brushes that you could use to possibly make the process easier. I'm going to say that if you're like me and you're tiny brushing around here, yeah, you might be able to, but I am always going to do a little bit of masking because I know myself and I know if I want it to be really clean, I'm going to use masking, even if I've got a tiny brush. So for me, the preference is how I can hold the brush. I like the way these feel in my hand. And also, I just always take a little precautions to cover some things up. So this is kind of a darker yellow than the previous one. It's like a yellowy orange. It's called Snapdragon. Okay, mix of techniques. They say I do love it to mix. I don't think I could possibly just do one all the time anyway, because I love mixing it up too. Okay, let's remove all this. We're going to look at how this looks. This is another reveal moment, so y'all get ready. And ooh and ah appropriately, because it's going to look awesome. Oh man, it's going to look awesome. Okay, let's put up our Snapdragon. Now, before I touch any white, you can always rinse your hands off, but I'm going to try to keep myself where I don't actually touch the white. Ooh, yeah, masculine cards. I love masculine cards. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Look at that good detail we're getting right through there. Oh, lovely. And that's level 2. We've got, to make sure I got them in order. Level 3 is the end of our flowers, so you'll see how this works. You get to see the top of my head again. I think level 3 is the end of our flowers, except for the centers of some of them. Oop. Helps if I stick my top one right. I just love, I don't know how Altenew decides like how to layer these, but they do such a good job at showing detail. Okay. I'll wipe this one off. Let me pop it to my face. Oh, isn't it awesome? I think it looks so good. Okay, let me wipe this one off just a little bit. Alrighty. So, yeah, next will be leaves, and then we'll be done. I'm going to show you that unique part of the stencil next as well, too. So here we go. We're doing a little bit of masking, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to keep using this Snapdragon and do the center of this one. Right here, we'll do the center of that flower. You can do it in yellow, you can do it in brown. I know some of them I do in brown, but it kind of looks good in that. And then we'll go through and do, we may as well do the rest of our Snapdragon. I think I can do this with just my fingers because these are now a little bit further away. So I'm going to do that without masking. And just really hold it. Ah, Rachel, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see what else we can chat about. So do you, tell me if you've used layered stencils, yes or no? Oh, is Mindy here? Hi, Mindy. Mindy, usually I have my face popped up in the edge, but we were having some technical difficulties today, so we're just happy to be here. All right, this one is tricky because it's super close to that pink one. Okay, there we go. So I was able to do all that without masking. I may have to mask a little bit with the purple and the reds being so close together because we're going to get into our really dark colors. So we're going to use Grapevine for the red, which is super dark, always gets on my hands because I get it everywhere. So I need to wipe that off. And then we're going to use the really dark Midnight Violet. Okay, so let's start with our reds. So we've got kind of a plan here. Okay, good. Lots of people have used them. Okay, if you haven't used layered stencils, I know sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming to think that your how they work, but if you will remember those simple steps of they have numbers on them, and start from lightest to darkest. So if you've got 4 layers of stencil and you've got 4 colors, go light to dark, and it really will look amazing. It's almost impossible to mess up. Okay, this little area right here is super close to this purple flower, so let's cover it up with some tape. And then we're going to come in with this really dark color. If you're always worried about using really dark colors, they do so well on nice detailed stencil layers. It really makes them stand out. Okay, I'm going to put it right here. Don't think I need to mask that. And I love when we get down to these dark layers because there's not a whole lot to do. Okay. So we just got these little guys right here that are going to be dark. And this. This is going to be beautiful. And even if it looks super dark right now, you know, the inks will dry and go down in color a little bit. Did I do the super dark? No, I haven't done super dark orange yet either, have I? Did I do that? I think that's as dark as those go. I may add a little bit. Okay, let's do our purple. So Grapevine was the dark red, which actually I need to go right here. Let me do this little guy. Okay, now we'll do our dark purple, which is Midnight Violet. And I am using the same brush. You can always, you know, wipe your brush off if you need to, but I've been just not even cleaning them lately. So how do you choose? Yeah. There is no expert blender. They all are making mistakes, and that's no big deal because the stencil basically keeps you from looking like you made any kind of mistake. Nobody knows except you. So I saw, what was that question? Okay, how do you choose what? Oh, how do you clean? Okay, so question one was, how do you clean your stencil brushes? And I just said, I don't really clean these that much. I tend to just do this and run them off. If they're really bad or there's something stuck to them, I'll use a little bit of water and sometimes a little bit of Dawn, but I don't really clean them. At least these I don't. Some others maybe I try a little bit, but for the most part, these are all using the same brand of ink and they don't get clogged up. They look great. We're gonna do just a little bit of terracotta over here too. And I think I saw another question. How do you choose which colors? Okay, so I tend to go with a couple of ways to choose my colors. I usually use a color wheel, which I'll show you one that's free to print out if you decide you need one. I don't think that Altenew has one, but I'll double check. We can, if anybody from Altenew is here, tell me if Altenew has a color wheel. I tend to use a free one from Catherine Pooler. Okay. All right. Did we get our purples? We got our reds. We got that. I think we got it all. Are you ready to see what the reveal of these flowers looks like? Okay, so I tend to either use a color wheel or I use the Roy G. Biv. So if everything is in a line, you know it's going to work. So red and purple are next to each other on the color, and so is orange yellow, and then you go into green. So the only thing missing on this from a rainbow is really blue. So it was pretty easy. It's just eliminate one of them, and that's fine. You just don't want to, they all kind of go together. Oh, whoops, I think I missed this guy. Whoops, I did miss that purple one. Let me do this purple one really quick. He needs a little more detail, I'm sure. So does that make sense on the colors? You understand that? Like you can take the color wheel and use it, or you can use just the fact that there's a rainbow and you can keep things pretty similar and close on that rainbow. Oh, look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? Oh my goodness. I'm glad whoever said, what's under that piece of purple tape? Good thing you said that because I needed to get that one flower. Okay, here is what's unique about this stencil set, and I want to show it to you before we do our leaves because this is something that I haven't seen in Altenew sets before. This is to do the background. So I've seen this in a couple of trees, and you could put this down, cover up all your flowers, however you want to do it, and you could ink blend in the center and then cut your panel out. I wanted to cut my panel out completely, so I'm going to cut my panel out completely so that I don't, so I can use different color cardstocks, but that's a great cool, interesting way to do. So we're going to do number 4, which is all leaves. I think it's all leaves. Let's look at it. Some of it's got some centers of some flowers, but the rest is all just going to be green. So with the centers of the flowers, you could do something like a paste if you wanted. I'm just going to add a little gray color, and you'll see there's 2 over here that are going to need to be done that don't quite fit on this. I don't know where those go. I'm trying to look for where they are. They'll be somewhere where it doesn't quite fit, so we'll fix that in just a second. So this, if you were asking what's underneath the paper, this is a sticky mat. I don't know if somebody was asking about what was there. And I'm going to cover up these 2 holes because I don't want to mess them up. And then we're not going to do any masking. I'm just going to be careful with my green, and I'm going to use a little bit of probably moon rock as the centers, which I need to get a quick little brush for. So we'll just be real careful with this. I'm going to use a dark brush. I just stepped on one of those. All right. Yeah, a glitter pen would look great. Doing just a quick little, like you could even do a little pearl or a gem in the center. That would look nice. So we got moon rock, and we're going to use forest glades. I'm going to start with the green first. I'll go green first because the green is not as dark, and so just quickly get it in there. If I accidentally mess up and hit one of the holes, that gray will cover it up. Yes, you can use different amounts of pressure. So what I would say is so she's asking if you don't have a whole lot of inks available, you're just starting out, how can you get different shades? I would suggest using different size brushes. That's going to be the easiest way. So use a really big brush to get a light shade, and then take it down and use smaller and smaller brushes because that deposits more ink. You could do that with pressure as well. It's just going to be easier with a different size brush. All right, let me see. So who knows, does Altenew have any other of these one-go things where you color all of them and cut them out? I don't know if this is their first one like that or not. So I don't know if anybody knows that. Yes. Sticky mats are the bomb. I love them. A sticky mat is my favorite invention, I think, of the past couple years. Sometimes I don't know what I'd do without it. I'd probably just use a whole lot of tape. So basically we could say sticky mats are saving the environment. At least in my craft room they are. And you gotta look, there's like these teeny little stems too that you need to make sure you got. So boom, boom. Teeny stems. So we are almost done with our stenciling, and we're gonna put together 3 different cards using just these flowers. So fun, and you're gonna love how this die cut works. It's so cool that it cuts everything out at once. We'll be real careful with it because we want to make sure we keep it lined up, but I'll show you some tips and tricks on that as well. So yes, you can do this with just one color if you wanted. I'm going to use Moon Rock to do the centers, just to make them a little bit darker. And this would be a good time to have a really small brush because you're just doing that teeny little area and you don't want anything else to happen. So I'm just going to do the centers of some of them. I'm not going to do all of them because those have a yellow center. And the nice thing about gray is that it kind of just, it doesn't look totally gray when it's over the color, but it gives it like a nice shadow. So gray is always a safe color to put over something else if you want. Put just a little bit in these yellows just to give them something. Okay, so now we just need one more level of those nice leaves, and y'all are gonna love this. Look at how good this looks once you've started adding the leaves. Yeah, so see, there's still 2 leaves right here that we need to adjust. So sometimes you have to adjust your stencil a little bit. So these 2 I haven't done yet, and you see how there's that line right there? On Altenew stencils and most stencils, if there's a line in between the image and this means this is extra and wouldn't fit the way that we had it. So you have to go in and do that section as well. So technically this is like number 4A, number 4B. But you have to adjust because they run into other things, so it's hard to get them all in the same stencil. So it's these bottom 3 leaves right here that weren't in the other one. So we need to use a little bit of ink on those. Thanks for pointing that out. I saw somebody say there's some that are under there that aren't colored. Yeah, that's always helpful when I'm live, just to remind me to use that section. Because sometimes on the stencils, it's a little hard to see what's going on. But now that gets them all. You see? Oh, that looks so good. It's going to look even better with some little detail on the leaves. Here's the last thing that we have. So on this one, I think they get it all. Let's see. It's number 5. We're going to do, let's do evergreen to give it some real deep color. And some of these will also let us put a little bit more in the center. So hang on, I'm sorry, I have to put my head in the frame. Yes, Mindy, I will definitely be there. Are you going to be at Create? I know you were there last time I was there. We'll have to chat and hang out. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Create is the Simon Says stamp event where they have like just tons of people demonstrating, lots of classes, and it's really fun. And I love going and just meeting people and hanging out. I'll probably be hanging out some at the Paper Tray Ink thing, and I told Altenew I'd help them if they needed it, but I think they've got theirs covered. I think JC will be there and Bridget. Okay, so this is our last green. I am going to get a different brush that's really green. Oh, okay, so Mindy's going to be running Jeannie K's booth. Cool. I'll definitely stop by and see you for sure. All right. Nancy's like, I'm so impressed. Okay, I'm going to just say, so that y'all know that I'm behind the camera, I'm going to say right here while I grab another brush. So I hope that y'all are having fun. We're having lots of fun with these. So this is what I hold my brushes in. And I'm going to get an even darker green because I'm about to do super dark green. So sometimes I will have a couple of brushes of each color, some that are light and some that are not, so that we can kind of adjust. All right, so so while I do this last little bit, why don't you go ahead, Rachel, and I'm going to come up with a question, and we'll have Rachel do the live giveaway. Okay, let me pop back over here. So we'll have Rachel do that. If you're joining in now, quick reminder, make sure that you check the Altenew fan group after this. I will be posting a challenge in there and giving away one of the cards that we make today. So just make sure you stay tuned and check that. Give me an hour or so to make a little something and put it in the fan group. So we're having a challenge. Use a stamp set 3 different ways. Use it in 3 ways, or like 3 different cards. And then tag me in the Facebook group so I can see it, and I will draw a winner to send a card to. So Rachel, let me think about what my replay, let me think about my question so that it'll be easy for you. What should we say? Okay, let's do this. Let me think. Sorry, sometimes thinking on the spot gives me just a second. Would you, okay, here's the other thing. We'll give it a yes or no. Would you add a center jewel, or would you rather add paste? So put jewel or paste, and when those comments go off, Rachel will let them go for a little while, and then she'll scroll through and draw a winner for the $15 gift card. Jewel or paste? Okay, I'll tell you about the fan group in just a second. Okay, Debbie, I'm about to answer that too. So jewel or paste, put that in there. Debbie, the fan group is on Facebook. It's called the Altenew Fan Group. So just search for it, join it, and you will be able to enter. If you can't find it, you can, if anybody has trouble finding the Altenew Fan Group after this, and you're, just email me and I'll tell you. Okay, so jewel paste. Okay, I see a lot of jewels. Nice. And this is for the $15 gift card for the live giveaway. Do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to ask a new question for replay people. So we'll have another question that replay people will answer to enter as well. And I'll tell you that at the end in case you decide you're going right into the replay anyway. So jewel or paste? Where are my paste people? See, lots of jewels. Jewels are definitely going to be easier because getting paste in these little areas might be hard. All right, and if you hadn't heard, if you're not following me on Instagram, there's a huge Instagram hop this week. If you want more chances to win prizes, you definitely need to join Instagram and follow at Nicki Hearts Cards. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna use a little bit darker gray on these centers here. And like I said, with mine, sometimes I clean my brushes if they feel a little sticky and like they're, like the bristles are sticking together, then I'll clean them. But most of the time I wipe it off on another piece of paper and just always use this brush for a specific color. Ooh, I see some little greens I missed. I missed those little pieces of green right there. Let me see if I can get them with this brush. And Altenew does have smaller brushes. I just don't have them within reach. So have you found it yet? Okay, if you're having trouble finding me on Instagram, it might be because you're not spelling Nicki correctly. Look at how my Instagram channel is spelled. Hang on. Nicki, N-I-C-K-I. You see it? Nicki Hearts Cards. It's all one word, and that is me on Facebook. It's me on Instagram. It's me on YouTube. So Nicki Hearts Cards. N-I-C-K-I. See if you find it. If you don't find it, email me. And how do you email me? Nicki@NickiHeartsCards.com. That's also my blog. So if you get my spelling of my name right, usually you can find me. Will you put that in? Yeah, Natalie, thank you for putting it in there so that you can see. You could just copy and paste what Natalie put in. She spelled it correctly, and that works. Okay, let's reveal this one. Okay. All right, who's ready? Rachel, make sure you put it in all caps when you pick a winner so that I can see. All right, here we go. This is our final reveal. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. And I know it took some ink blending, but y'all are going to see how much easier it is now versus stamping multiple cards. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? So yes, if you had one ink curler, you could do this. It's going to take some more pressure and that kind of stuff. Oh man. Oh, thank you. Oh, Rachel was working on getting my Instagram link in there, but she'll pick a winner in just a minute. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you're gonna die when you see how this die cut works. You're gonna die when you see the die cut. That's funny. I did not mean to make that pun, but hang on. We still got lots of fun to have here. So let's look at this die. So the way the die cut works is it cuts all of these at one time, okay? So we're gonna use a bigger, if you don't have a bigger die cutting machine, you need to make sure you have enough space for this because it is a pretty good size stamp. Okay, so it was Ann Arnold, she's the winner, is that correct? So congrats, Ann. So what Ann needs to do is she needs to email me after this and let me know she was the winner. I just said my email, but also you can find it on my blog at NickiHeartsCards.com and just email me through the blog. Or if you're on my newsletter, you can always reply to a newsletter. Speaking of which, y'all should be on my newsletter so you get reminders for live streams. I'm sure Rachel will pop that in there. Look at how perfect that fits. I mean, I don't even have to do anything. I'm going to put tape on it just because it makes me feel nervous not to put tape on it just to be safe since it's such a big image. Isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness. Winners, Ann Arnold. So Ann, make sure you email me. If you don't claim it, then I will give it to somebody else. Don't worry. If we don't have a person claiming it, we will give it again. We also have another gift card that we're giving away in the replay. So if you decide you want to rewatch this and come in and answer the replay question, you can enter again there as well for another $15 gift card. All right, I'm going to send it through. Let me turn this on so I can kind of answer questions and chat with you while I'm die cutting. Amazing. Awesome. I'm glad. Thank you for the reminders. I love that Rachel's helping me. Y'all tell Rachel thank you. So I'm taking this whole thing, got it here, and I'm sending it through. It makes you nervous because you've worked so hard on it and you want it to be right. But I'm telling you, very hard to mess up, which is amazing. Okay, are you ready for the magic? Here we go. I'm going to cross my fingers and we'll do this. So let's take off our top plate, put it down, and carefully take off my tape. Like I said, I have a magnetic mat, but sometimes on something this amazing, I get scared to trust it completely. So I use a little bit of tape. And I save these pieces of tape. So when y'all see them and you wonder why those tape pieces are so beat up, it's because I saved them. Okay, I'm going to pull the die off. All right, like this. Put it in its little pack, and then I'll show you. Woo! Isn't that awesome? Oh my goodness. Okay, so see, you've got this left if you wanted to, do anything with it. I'm going to get rid of it because I've used it to its max, I feel like. So here are all my flowers. Now, let's create some backgrounds and we'll use all of these beautiful flowers. Look at how amazing that is. I love that it cuts that out. So fun. Just makes it all worth it, doesn't it? So let's start with one of the easier cards. I'm going to do the one with the coral berry background, and I'll show you what I used. So we're going to use this coral berry. I'm going to use our little flowers. I think I'm going to use maybe this one. So we'll kind of create our thing here, and then we'll save these two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an embossing folder, and we're going to just do the simple embossing folder. This is a great embossing folder. Okay, and you email me. Just go to my website, to the blog, NickiHeartsCards.com, and do the contact button, and that should email me. That might be the easiest, but also you can find my email if you're in my, whatever it's called. I don't know, on my news list, sorry. I can't talk and I need to get a sip of something. So this is called Blooming Doily Charm. Great embossing folder. I have to have a sip of water. So we're going to start with our super bold card, and I'm going to show you how fast this can come together. So I love this pattern. Let me grab, oops, I just got just a little bit of water on there. That's no problem because I was going to spray it with water anyway. Let me grab one of my backgrounds that goes with this. It's just to show you all the things you can do with this one. Here, let me grab it. So if you haven't seen this video, I've used this embossing folder with paste before. Look at how beautiful that looks. There's a whole video on this. I've used this embossing folder quite a few times. It's called Blooming Doily Charm. It's an amazing embossing folder, and we're just going to use it and keep it pretty plain today on this coral berry. The other thing that I was going to talk about today is that I think I'm going to see, I've had several people who don't have embossing folders, or they don't have paste, or they don't have a die cutting machine. So they've asked if there's any way they can get these embossed panels. So I think I'm going to start doing giveaways of just backgrounds that I haven't used, that I've done like that one there. And I'm curious to see, like, tell me a thumbs up, or why don't you put in the chat yes or no that you would be interested in that kind of giveaway. So I'm adding just a little bit of water. And I'm going to put it in here. And just try to make it as even as I can. Then we'll send it through the embossing machine, which is also called a die cutting machine. I like to use this Spellbinders one. So we're going to send it through this. It is a beautiful embossing folder. I really have used it. I've used it in some classes. I've used it a few different times, and it's always gotten way. Yeah, backgrounds would be fun. Okay, cool. So backgrounds are something that I can mail pretty easily, and so they're great giveaways. I thought about that also being part of the giveaway for the challenge that I'm doing for the Altenew Fan group. I may end up picking 2 people and send one of them a card and one of them some backgrounds. Okay, let's look at how, okay, I'll do the reveal on this. Hang on. Let me move this off to the side. And I think you're going to be shocked. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I have to give you my reaction. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. Okay, but I'm going to go back. Here we go. Oh, look at that. And I'm keeping it plain because it's so gorgeous. I don't think it needs anything else. So we're just going to emboss it. We're not doing anything else to it. Okay, so it's good to know y'all would like backgrounds. Since I do this for a job, a lot of times I have some extra backgrounds that I haven't used because I'm showing them in reels and I may not have put the whole card together. And so I thought, you know, for people who haven't seen an embossed panel before, that might be really fun. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to use these 2 flowers, but I think I'm going to get myself a piece of vellum. I brought it. Have y'all seen this set yet? Creative Labels. Oh, beautiful. We're going to use just one of the labels on the back because it's got dies as well. I'm going to use that and just cut that out of vellum just to make a little bit more layering here. So we'll just cut a quick vellum piece, which hopefully I have. It's in here. Yeah, that's a 3D folder, Debbie. It's definitely a 3D folder. Yeah, I love different styles of background. So this has all these fun shapes. I think I'm going to use this shape, and we're going to put our sentiment that we've already cut out on it. Okay. Y'all should see how much tape I have stuck to me right now. Okay, so I'm going to get a piece of, I'm going to kind of go like here. I think we'll go like here. And then we'll stick our little vellum right here. And then I think I'll use the friend fits pretty well. Nice. So we'll just kind of adjust. Let me get some vellum and I'll cut that out. And I'm going to use one of these sentiments too. I think I'm going to go, friend, what would I do without you? So we'll cut that out as well. Super fun. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this sitting here because I got to grab a piece of vellum, which I keep looking at that stencil thinking it's vellum and it's not. There we go. I got lucky and I have a little piece of vellum here. So I can do this. Let's just cut out a size we need. Okay, so I see a question that I'm going to answer in just a second. So the question is, why do you not use the Impress to run embossing folders through? I just got my Impress machine. Tony, I think that says Tony. I am still experimenting with a sandwich on the Anna Griffin Impress, and I know the sandwich, and I'm very confident in the sandwich that goes through the Spellbinders machine, and I have both of them. I don't think there's any problem using the Impress. I just think you're going to have to play with it a little bit to see what gets you the right level of impression. And honestly, I have not had time to do that. And that's part of the reason, is that the couple of times I've tried it, I did too much pressure, too little pressure, and I knew that I had an option that worked. So I just went with the option that I had. So Anna, would you believe it? I do not own Altenew vellum. I don't have any vellum from Altenew. This is actually from Simon Says Stamp, and it's just a generic kind of vellum. It works fine for this. I do love that this gets those little impressions on the side. Do you see how that dye does? I love that. Okay, so any vellum will work. Does Altenew actually have vellum? Am I crazy that I don't know that? I may not know for sure on that one. Okay, let's cut out our sentiment that's going to go under this, and I'm going to start building it real quick. So the other thing that I like to do with embossing folders, I'm going to show you how I make this flat. But first, let's cut out what would I do with you, because that's going to look great under that friend sentiment. So let me cut this out really quick as easily as possible. Let me just take a little snip here. All right. Yes, Jackie, Altenew carries sticky mats. They are my favorite sticky mats. I just showed one. If you're just joining in, I used it for the stenciling, and it's amazing. So can't promise that's straight, but let's see. Oh, that actually turned out pretty good. Okay, good. So I trim that off. Let me trim this little edge off. What would I do without you? What a perfect sentiment. So I think I saw in there that Rachel said some people have trouble with the Impress embossing sandwich. I'm sure somebody's got it good and figured out, and I'm sure one day I'll figure it out too, but I just haven't dedicated the time to play with it a lot and see what it was about it that I was having trouble with. Okay, so let's make our panel flat. Then this card is done. You're going to be amazed at how fast these come together now. Yeah, I don't think there is. Okay, good, Rachel. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, I'm pretty sure they don't have vellum. So this is the sticky mat that I use. This is the one from Altenew. That's the 9x12. Highly recommend. Probably my #1 product ever from Altenew. Love that thing. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, I'm getting some. Okay, next, I am going to grab a panel. Now you can do this. You could use regular tape, like foam tape, to make this perfectly flat, because once you've sent it through the embossing machine, let's show you. You see how it wants to curve a little bit? It's a little bit warped. So I'm going to use a flat panel of double-sided adhesive. This is technically from scrapbook.com. I could do this with panels of double-sided adhesive strips, but honestly, the Altenew I'm saving for other stuff, and it's just, I think it's a little bit more cost-effective to use these bigger pieces because I just need that flat panel look. Yeah, Joyce likes that one too. Oh, I do love the keyhole dies. I actually just put together, I'm probably going to be doing a video on that soon. Put together the new Grand Dahlia. I think that's out. Maybe that's next month. Whoops. Just put that out. I put that together recently. And the way I would do this panel is I'd attach it to one side like this. Okay. And then I would try to make sure that I keep it flat the whole way. And then smush it. See how my panel is now flat? It's going to make everything else stick to it a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and put friend on here and the sentiment because I'm going to use my adhesive underneath these two. I didn't do perfect on cutting that out. It's a little bit wonky. Whatevs. It'll be okay, right? All right, let's see what else. So do you normally, when you're using an embossing folder, do you put some type of foam tape on the back, or do you just glue it to a panel? Or neither? You don't have to do either one. I'm just curious. Rachel, I think I might need to send you this card. Friend, what would I do without you? That would be a great card for Rachel. I think I might have to send her this. So I may give this one to Rachel because she's always helping out. If you don't care that I got a wonky sentiment there. All right, and the reason I'm going on putting these on the vellum is because I'm going to use these to shield where I'm going to stick my vellum. So how do you store your sticky mat? You're going to laugh and it may not be the right way. So hang on, I'll show you. Now, granted, I use my sticky mat almost every day. Okay, I'm going to go right there. Let me line these up and I'll tell you. Rachel's like, that's no problem. It is handmade, that's true. Yeah, you can definitely glue it, the panel down too. Okay, now I've got places on the back that I can use my adhesive and you won't see it through the vellum. Just a quick little trick for you there. Sorry, I need to move my things all the way. Okay, and then I've hidden those two and we'll be able to put it on. Let's look at where we want our flowers to go. I do think I'm going to use just, I don't think I'm going to pop these up. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on the back of these as well. So when you're sticking onto a 3D panel like this, to me it is helpful to not use glue. I tend to use some type of adhesive strip and I've had better luck with that than with glue. Sometimes I'll squish the glue out. So just FYI. Might be better just to use some adhesive on the back. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit the thumbs up. We definitely have some people who have not done that yet. And I know not everybody can. If you're watching in the car or something like that, and you don't have hands-free, no big deal. But that just helps other people find this video and find the replay giveaway. Other thing that I mentioned earlier in the stream that I want to make sure all of y'all heard is that I am a part of the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit. It has a free ticket where you can see my craft room and lots of other pre-recorded things. And then it also has some live sessions. Those are ticketed. So I'm going to be doing Zoom sessions to help people get organized. So it'll be kind of like hanging out in my craft room with me and I will help you think of some solutions, but also I'll be organizing at the same time too. So I think I'm going to go kind of like this. Yeah, so this one may hang off just a little bit. Let's see here. I don't want to cover that up, and I hate to cover up the flower. I'm going to just go right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this part down, and then we're going to glue down our flowers, and then we're going to work on our paste card because it's going to need a little bit of time to dry. So we'll get it going and drying, and then we will finish the paste card last. Because we need it. I probably should have started it first, really, but whatevs. No big deal. Okay, so I'm going to go right here, and then we'll attach these. Okay, we got any questions? How's it going? Oh, good. Janine, or I think that's how you say it. Janine is going to the organization summit. Awesome. Yeah, it's a great stencil. It's a great stencil. It really is a great set. Like if you're looking for a set that does a lot of stuff, this set is awesome. And you could do these all one color. I mean, you don't have to do as much of that masking. I just really liked looking at the different colors. And, you know, sometimes I go a little overboard. I will say my creativity gets the best of me sometimes. Oh, thank you, Jerry. That was sweet. She said, this is definitely a thumbs up video. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, Central Texas. Hello. Carmen says she's going to be at the organization summit. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to add this where it's not covering anything up as I drop it, of course. Kind of like right here. How about that? And then we'll take this adhesive off. Next, we're going to work on our light pink card. Now, this light pink card is actually my favorite of this crew that I made because I don't know, I just love it. So we're going to put some sequins on this one too, just to have a little fun. So I'm just going to kind of enclose it so that it looks like that. All right, and then we'll add a few little sequins, move on. Where did I put my sequins? Here they are. Oh, so I'll also show y'all too while I'm adding sequins. Oops, sorry. Let me do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm seeing a couple questions there. I'm just going to do a few sequins, not tons. So this is the new sequin holder from Altenew, and it's got different sizes. So you can open up each size and use those however you want. I'm going to use some kind of smaller ones. So I'm going to open this up, and then you can pour it out if you want. So it's like a container that screws on. And I'm just going to pour out a few of these in here. And then I'm going to pour out a few of the smaller ones. Or actually, I'm just going to leave the small thing open, I think. I think I'll go this size so that I can contain it. Sorry. And I'm just going to like free it. I'm going to just start putting glue dots and start adding jewels, okay? So just going to go right here. And I just refilled this glue, so let me just see if it's going to cause me any trouble. Okay, there we go. So we'll just go like one here, right about there. Maybe one here, maybe one here. Okay, and then we can grab our jewels. Grabbing these jewels is always a little bit like, whew, trying to get them on there. I still have to use my hand sometimes. It's not going to be easy, is it? I may need to go tweezers. All right, let's do a couple of little ones too. So there's one. Yeah, these twisty containers are pretty fun. Put one right there. Sequins and little bits are always a little hard to deal with. And then I'm just going to do a couple up here. We'll do a small one and a bigger one. So I'd love to hear what your tips are on refilling a glue bottle. I'm going to say I made a complete mess. I was refilling this Barely Arts glue. Oh my goodness. And granted, the other glue, like the glue that I was refilling with, had gotten a little bit dry because it was my second refill. And so I had to kind of break it up, and then it just poured out. Okay, so I've got a couple questions that I need to answer. Okay, so these little screw tops, you just do this, close them back. Whoops. Except you can also drop some sequins. Oh, Lord. I'm just dropping a few. Okay, so here's how our card looks. Beautiful. Like I said, I think this one's going to go to Rachel. So I've had a few questions. Let's see if everybody's asking that. Okay, cool glue tips. Thank you. Look at this too. Like I think I overfilled it and now it's just spilling out. What in the world? Having some glue problems today. It's just pouring out of there. I don't know if I got too much pressure in there or what. Okay, let's make our pink background. I did want to show y'all some other cards while I'm getting everything ready to get the paste out. So this is our cute card from here. If you did not see the last live stream that I did for last week, it was also for Altenew, and it was super awesome. We had so much fun. So I'm going to sprinkle some of those cards out here while I get the rest out for the next card. These we made in the last live stream. So just FYI, this is one that I don't think I've shown much, and this is going to be on social media soon, but this is the one with the clear paste. So I'm going to get out the white paste, and I'm going to get out our pink, and we are going to start making this card. Okay, so we're going to be using the frosty pink on this one. I just wanted you to see some of these cards. Sometimes it's just fun to show and tell. So these are the Fluttering Fantasies, or Fantasies, Fluttering Fantasies, I think is what it's called. Fun die. We had lots of fun with that. So here's our friend card. Next, we're gonna work on this card, okay? And I'm gonna show you how I did this white paste on the back. So we'll be using this white paste, okay? We're gonna use a couple of pieces of frosty pink, and that's just because it makes it look better. I'll show you how. As far as storing my Altenew sticky mats, do you see how I fold them in half? And the inside is the part that I'm sticking things to. This is the back, which also has a little stickiness to stay to the mat. But I tend to fold mine in half and either put them in a drawer or just sit them to the side of my desk. And I've had no trouble. I mean, you can always wipe them off if there's a little bit too much. It's no big deal. You can always wipe it off. The set of the butterflies are Fluttering Fantasies. I believe that's what it's called. And I want you to make sure you use my affiliate link if you're going shopping, okay? So here's our stencil that we're going to use. We're using Serene Lattice. It's a really beautiful stencil. So I'm going to put this down and we're just going to smush the paste through in a few different ways. Actually, that's the wrong side. I like the slicker side on top. And I just love the way pink and white looks together. I don't know, that's always just been one of those things that I love. So this once again is called Serene Lattice. It will be on the supply list in case you're looking for this stencil. I'm going to put on some gloves because I'm going to use my fingers with this white relief paste. So I'm going to put on gloves to do that. Oh, thanks. So, and let me just pop in really quick. Okay, I'm going to pop while I'm putting my gloves on. Here we go. This reminds me of my nursing days. Getting my gloves on. While I do that, let me tell you about the fan group and just how you can find. So what I was talking about earlier is that there's going to be a Instagram hop for celebrating my 30,000 followers. And that Instagram hop, you will find that next week, I think it's Wednesday, on my Instagram. Now, if you're looking for the Altenew Fan group, the Altenew Fan group is on Facebook. And that is where we're going to have the challenge after this, where I'm going to give away backgrounds and cards to people who enter in the challenge. The challenge is use a floral stamp and make 3 different cards out of it, and then post them in the Facebook groups. Take a quick picture. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just take a quick picture, and then I will be looking through that Facebook group. It will help if you tag me. So when you're writing here, this is for Nicki's challenge, put this is for @Nicki Hearts Cards Challenge. I know that's a long word, but if you'll do that, that helps me find it. If not, other people will see it and make sure I've seen it. Just make sure you got that. So we're going to use, okay, I'm going to go back to here. So let's use some paste. This is a white opaque paste. It's called White Relief Paste. It is from Altenew. I suggest using something that you can dab your hand off because it will come off the sticky mat, but it makes a mess. Did that help with the explanation there? So I'm doing this to cover up my sticky mat. I need to get another sip of water. Are you still hanging in there okay, Rachel? I know I'm taking a long time. I had a feeling we'd go for a little while today. If Rachel gets too late, we can get the links from the description. Okay, so I'm tapping off my finger over here just so I don't have big, huge amounts. And I'm going to go in a 3 pattern. I'm going to go here, here, and here. Just make 3 different areas of white. And just going to rub through the stencil. So I'm going to hold the stencil down, taking this, kind of tapping off any excess. Yeah, so Carrie said, can it be any 3 projects? Yes, it can. It does not have to be cards. It can be anything you make with those floral things. It could be a home project. It could be a bookmark. It could be a tag. Whatever you want to do. I just want to see all the different ideas that you come up with to use the same set. It doesn't have to be this exact set that I'm using, and create 3 different ways. It's just a little challenge for your weekend to give you some creative ideas and excitement. I love challenges because it forces me to think about something that I wasn't necessarily considering. So we are going to add some white through here, and then we're going to add, and you can do as much as you want. And if you want to use a spatula, use a spatula. I just like the look I get when I push it through with my finger like this. I just think it looks really cool. And I have told people in lives before, I love the rule of threes. So I tend to go in three, my background tends to have this in 3 areas. So I'm going to go in this corner, right through here, and right through here. And it doesn't have to be a lot. We're just creating some drama. Oh, Jerry says she was a nurse also. So that's awesome. Yeah, you know how you put the gloves on. It's like some people are like, how do you get those gloves on so fast? Just trust me. My whole life was gloves until I kind of retired and became a card maker instead. Not really retired. I became a stay-at-home mom. That's what I did. And started my little crafty business. So speaking of crafty business, this is when you use affiliate links, which are the links that Rachel provides you. Like if you're going shopping at Altenew, it provides me a little small commission. It doesn't charge you anything, but it also helps Altenew see who is promoting their products. And it's definitely good for me if you use that, even if you're like getting something free, you know, like you're getting a free download or something. Still put my link in there. That helps me out. Okay, so I've got 1 here, 2. Let's do this corner as well. And I'm just rubbing this on here. Cannot find the sticky mat. I think the sticky mat's on my supply list. So Terry says she can't find the sticky mat. I'm guessing at Altenew, but that is on, I'm almost sure that's on my supply list. So if you grab the supply list for this live stream, it should be on there, and you may just have to look at those links a little bit, but it should be one of the options. Okay, the other thing about pushing this paste through the stencil is it does dry faster. Okay, so just FYI, if you're worried about if this is going to dry in time, I think it's going to be fine, but we'll see. Okay, now you got to see the reveal because this looks so amazing. Let me get my gloves off. And why I use gloves is because I don't want this all over my hands, but also, you know, it's some kind of plasticky paste. It's probably not great for you. So use gloves or don't. I'm sure it's not the end of the world if you don't. I just like to. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to carefully peel this up. Who's ready? Who's ready? Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you hadn't done it yet. Here we go. Oh my goodness. I love that look. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, and then with your sticky mat, to get it off, you just bend the sticky mat and you grab your piece. Okay, we do need to remove that extra paste. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? And look at how it's gonna look with flowers. Ah, so exciting. Okay, let me set it back here to dry. If we have to dry it with a heat tool, we will, but I like to use these. Tiffany Solario taught me this. They're little baking pans, so you can get air underneath it on top just to help. So we'll set that back here, let it dry a little bit. We're gonna have to wipe this mat off and wipe this off just a little bit. Still gonna get it on me, Anna. I have to set that off to the side. If I get paste on me, then I use my little rag. So I'm going to use this rag. I think I'm actually going to use a paper towel. Use like a wet paper towel because it does dry pretty quick. So just FYI. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Good. So tell me, are you a light pink fan or dark pink fan? So of the 2 backgrounds so far, which one do you like, light or dark? Okay, there we go. Put that up. So now, oh, actually, I'm not going to put that. We're going to start working on our next one. So we're going to work on our gray one while we can, because we've got one more card. We're going to be making this card pretty quick, but I'm going to show you. This isn't stencil. So we've done a stencil, we've done an embossing folder, we've done paste. Now we're going to do a stencil and embossing folder, and I'm going to show you how I made this easy. This is called Castle Window, and I'm going to start with this color cardstock. Light, yeah. The light one was, I'm usually a dark color person, but that light one is getting me. Oh, I love it. So we're going to use this color cardstock. And we're going to use this embossing folder, and it's got a quick dye. And we're going to do quick coloring. So I've already done kind of our light color. So we're going to skip a whole level of this coloring, and we'll do it super fast. And then we'll run it through the embossing folder. You can do the embossing folder first if you want. I just tend to do the stencil first. So we will emboss it. So it's going to be raised little brick. And let's look for our numbers on here. I'm going to skip level 1. Okay, let's go on this way. So this is level 1, and I'm going to skip it because basically I've got the color right there. Okay, and we're going to fill in all around it, and it's going to look fine. So we're going to skip level 1. We're going to go 2. And we're going to use our brushes here. We're using these, so we're using Moon Rock, Lava Rock, and Evening Gray. Okay, so we'll start with our lighter one. I'm going to see if there's too much ink on this, and I'm going to get it off on a piece of sticky note. I am not sure if someone's asking a question. I think Rachel's got it. She said you have to be very careful or it'll melt into a puddle, but I'm not sure what she's talking about. So sorry, I'm not seeing that one. Okay, so this is an Enchanted Castle Window or something like that. Enchanted Castle Window. When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know what to do with this one. And then I realized, oh, it's the perfect background for beautiful flowers. Perfect background. Will y'all tell me too in the comments how you found me? Like if this isn't your first live stream, did you see me first on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube? So you don't have to do much coloring because you've already got a little bit of gray down. You're just kind of filling it in with each color of gray. It's going to be super fast, and we're not taking the whole thing. So I'm just quickly laying down a little bit of color, and you'll see it gives it a great drama. Doesn't have to be this small of a brush. Can be any kind of brush you want to use. Oh, I see what you're saying. She said, can you use a heat gun to dry paste? Yeah. You can. You just got to be careful. It doesn't take a ton of heat. And if you hold the heat on it too long, it's going to cause trouble. And if this isn't your first time, tell me if you notice a difference in this new microphone or not. Good, bad, prefer the other one. Which one do you prefer the most? So the other thing about ink blending on colored cardstock is that it's usually not quite as smooth. So it's nice to do a blend like this where you're not really worried about how much you're blending it in, because it may not actually have the same properties as blending on white paper. You're just getting color down. You're not trying to make too much shadowed effects or anything like that. You're just getting the color down. So there's our first level. Here we go. Let's look at the reel. Boom. Oh, I missed that little spot. Hang on. Let me add just a little bit more right here. I didn't get enough down there. If it's not quite loud enough, I think somebody says is it loud enough when you turn the volume up on your YouTube, or does the actual input volume need to be a little bit louder? I don't know if I can make that happen or not, but I possibly can if I could get this closer to my mouth. It's just kind of falling off my shirt. I can also try talking louder. Okay, so that's that level. Let's do level 3. Okay, so level 3 will go up in our color to Moon Rock. So we'll do a little bit darker. Can you see that there? No, right here. Okay. Oh, so I'll address those things. So, okay, so it is that it's just a little bit less loud than my previous mic. Sorry about that. We will work on getting it better, and I will hopefully have my other mic back by the time I do it live again. So that's fine. So yeah, so turn it up at 100%. I'll try to talk loud. Does that help? If I talk really loud? I don't know if that makes a difference or it just doesn't input it. Do I need to raise my voice? Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, we had a broken mic situation. We had all kinds of situations today. Today was not my easiest tech day for live streams. That's for sure. For sure. So just getting color down, kind of making a mess with it. Don't worry. It'll all blend in together. We're just getting that color down. Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, I'd probably get to where I needed, I'd have trouble trying to stay loud the whole time. Besides the fact that my kids are probably like, why is she yelling in the live stream? They're gonna be like, what is happening in that room? Okay, so the summit, I know people were asking about that, and I can't remember if I just answered it or not, but the summit that people are talking about is the organization summit. So I'm doing a summit April 24th through the 26th. My day is that Sunday, the 26th, and I will have a pre-recorded session that will be free, and it is on my craft room. I'm going to take you on a whole craft room tour, talk about why I store things the way I store it and what my kind of theory is on that. There's freebies, there's giveaways, all kinds of fun stuff, and all that part is free. Then if you want to actually have Zoom sessions with the instructors, which there's instructors like Tiffany Solario, I think Alice, it was Alicia McManera, Justine, Laurel Beard, all of us will be doing sessions that are Zoom sessions that will be organizing with you and kind of leading you through that session as well. Look at this. Whew. It's not perfect, but it works. We're not going for perfection here. Okay, this one is level 4, which I'm just going to do a little bit of. And then we'll do a little bit darker on level 5. And all this is just to give a fun background to those florals, especially on the card that I'm using the least amount of florals. So I'm going to take my darkest cover, which is Lava Rock, and we'll do this section. And then we'll decide if we want to do the actual final section. I don't know if we will or not. We might do it a little bit. Oh, good. All right, so for all of you, if you are Altenew fans, have you bought anything from the new release? And if so, which thing was your favorite? Love to hear what y'all are into. I really love those Fluttering Fantasies. Those butterflies were super cute. I'm obsessed with this stamp set. I'm of course loving the clear paste, which I did a video on Altenew's channel and my channel on clear paste, in case you ever wonder what in the world that is. And Just having lots of fun with it. April's always a fun release, I feel like, with Altenew because it's their anniversary. It's their anniversary of the company. And so I feel like they do a big April release. It's a lot of fun that month. Although I'll say what is coming in May is awesome. Kind of excited about that too. Okay. Here's how it looks now. Let's decide if we want one more level. Oh, I'm a little bit off on my center, aren't I? No, I'm about right. I missed this area. I feel like I need a few more blocks on that side, so I'm going to look at what this is like and add a couple along this edge. I think this edge was kind of, I'm just going to use the excess on my brush. Add a few right through there, just so I've got it all the way to the edge. I think I'm going to use some moon rock here. See if that helps the edge. Yeah, now it goes all the way to the edge. I feel like we could use just a little bit through here, so I'm going to do a couple more of these and just a light moon rock, just kind of what's left on the brush. It won't be much, but it'll give it a little bit of distinction. Yeah, that Fluttering Fantasy set was nice. So you're a subscriber to the Craft Your Life. Those Craft Your Life kits are awesome. I do love those. Was this month, was it the furniture, or is that not this month? So here's kind of how it's looking, okay? Just colored in. What makes it extra awesome is the flowers and the embossing. So let me show you the embossing. I'm just going to line this up, send it through the embossing machine, and it'll be super easy. And we're just going to use some leftover sentiments. It feels like I'm a little off center. Am I off center? Ever so slightly. So I might cut this edge off just a little bit because I'm going to put a backer on it anyway. So let me just cut that edge off to make this perfectly center. Y'all ever do that where it's like, well, it's just a little bit off, so let's try to make that our center, which should be about right there. A little better, maybe just a smidge more. Okay, now it looks center. If all else fails, use the paper trimmer. Don't ever give up on your panel here. Okay, let's send it through the embossing machine. Fruits and flowers, oh, is that what this month was? Fruits and flowers for the Craft Your Life? I lose track on what they are. That was a cool set. And I'm just lining up everything. I might actually feel like I need to go this direction. So when I'm feeling this thing, I'm going to put my back as the part that sticks up. So the embossed side, actually, which side is that? It's this side. Sorry, when you're looking at an embossing folder, see if I can get that to doesn't like to focus on that. See how that part's raised and this part's indented? I'm going to put the raised side here behind my panel to push out those bricks. It's going to push it up like that. I'm going to use just a smidge of water. Oh, sorry, Carrie. Whoops. I don't know if I was supposed to say that then, was I? We'll pretend like we didn't say that. Okay, just kind of line your panel up, and then we're going to send it back through that machine again. Let's see if I can pick it all up without dropping it. So I'm going to use the base plate, top plate, and roll it through. That's awesome, Jackie. All right, so let's see here. Tell me, do you, when you're using embossing folders and stencils, do you emboss and then stencil, or do you stencil then emboss like I just did? You can do it either way. I'm just curious, what's your favorite? Embossing first, let's say embossing first, or stenciling first. Put that on there. Just put emboss or stencil. I want to know which one you do first. Okay, let's look at this reveal. I feel like my mic is about to fall off. Ooh, look at it now. It's all embossed. See how beautiful that is? Oh, it feels so nice. And I love this kind of plain background with these bright flowers. So look at it with, let's see what we got here. Maybe this one. Look at that. Doesn't it just make those flowers stand out? Love that. And I've got just a set of extra sentiments over here that I kind of keep in a little basket. And I think I'm going to go with one of these two. I like Have a Beautiful Day. I like From Our Hearts. Y'all decide. How about number 1, Have a Beautiful Day, or number 2? 1 or 2? Tell me. Okay, it looks like a lot of people emboss and then they stencil. I do it both ways, but I tend to stencil first, then emboss. But you can do either, especially if you have trouble lining it up. So which one did I say number 1? Number 1? Have a Beautiful Day, number 1? Or From Our Hearts, number 2? We'll do one of these. Number 1 or number 2? Okay, while y'all are telling me what you think. Okay, most people like Have a Beautiful Day. Okay. Looks like that's the winner right now. Okay, so let's put this one together. Let's go Have a Beautiful Day. And then we can finish our pink card. So let's get a little bit of tape for this. I actually want to do the thinner tape. Hang on. Let's do the thinner tape. It'll be easier. I'll do one that's thick. And really, I probably overdo the tape. You probably don't need this much tape, but I'm going to do it anyway. So for this background, I'm going to create my own colored cardstock mat, and we're just going to go around it with ink, and I will glue it down. So the other one we use that foam behind it. This one we're going to use another piece of paper. So hang on just a second, we'll do that. And then hopefully our paste is dry enough. If it's not, we'll just show you how it's going and you'll get the idea. Okay, so to keep this flat, I am going to use a piece of white cardstock, but I'm going to create a dark gray. Let's see, I think I need to trim the bottom panel of that just a little bit so that we have a nice mat. So let's turn these over. I'm going to be putting those on. I'm going to trim just a little bit off here. I think I still need just a smidge more. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we got lots of things going on. There's a replay giveaway. We already did the live giveaway, but we have a replay giveaway. Let me go ahead and just tell y'all what the replay giveaway question is so that if you go back and watch, you will be able to enter if you're just going back to watch the first half or something like that. So replay question that needs to be answered to enter for the replay giveaway, which is a $15 gift card from Altenew, is going to be, let me put it on me. Let's ponder. Let's go with, okay, here's the question that you need to answer in the replay. Are you a double-sided adhesive person or glue? Which one is your favorite? Double-sided adhesive or glue? Double-sided adhesive or glue? Okay, I want to hear the votes. Which one's your fave? And y'all will put that in the replay, and that's how you will enter. So all of my replay watchers, make sure you answer that question to enter the replay giveaway. Replay will be given away in 1 week, and it'll be on the pinned comments, okay? It'll be on the pinned comment, so you'll be able to do that, and you'll have to end up emailing me so that you can get your gift card. If you don't claim it, then we will give it away again. Other little fun things that we're doing, if you haven't heard, we're having a challenge that will be up in about an hour after this live stream on the Altenew Facebook group. And that's assuming, I'm going to say it'll be up in an hour. Sometimes there's somebody moderating that group that has to look at post. So it could be that it takes longer than that, not because I didn't post it, but because we need somebody to approve it so that it goes out to the whole group. But I will put that post up and it will tell you about the challenge, which is make 3 cards with the same floral set, 3 different backgrounds basically. It can be cards, it can be bookmarks, it can be dags, whatever. And then tag me when you post it in the Facebook group. And this is the Altenew Fan group. It's a group on Facebook run by Altenew. And you will tag me by saying @Nicki Hearts Cards, and I will draw a winner to receive one of these cards in the mail. Okay, I'm going to use Moonrock, and I'm going to create my own cardstock. So instead of doing white or black, we're going to use Moonrock. And we're going to go around the edges. And I'm going to use my little blending brush just to get that edge. And yeah, it does use a decent amount of ink, but it's nice. It's kind of cool to coordinate it, and you don't need a huge line. And I just smooth it out a little bit also to spread the ink. And we're only doing this edge here. I think, what do y'all think, if you were just thinking from watching me, what would you think is my favorite, glue or double-sided adhesive? Anybody know me well enough? I definitely have one that I use more than others. And it does depend on the project. You know, sometimes glue's better and sometimes double-sided adhesive is better. Okay. Yeah, each card must also have a different background. True. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so that looks like a mess, but look at it behind this. That looks pretty cool. I need just a smidge darker over there. And you could go darker if you wanted to. I just like it having the matching color. So I'm going to remove this, and we'll show you. It just gives it that little extra. Let me wipe this off really quick before it gets too yucky. I don't like it to stain my mat if at all possible. It will stain your mat if you leave it on there. And sometimes it'll stain your mat even if you don't leave it on there. Okay, so let's build this whole card, and I'm going to check on the pink. Let's check on this pink. See how we're doing. So this is our next card. Let's see if it's dry. Ooh. It has some little tacky areas, but for the most part it's dry. Yeah, I think that I use glue more than I use double-sided, but I use double-sided adhesive when I'm doing things like these embossing folders, because this is like, it's got so much texture to it. But I think I probably use glue the absolute most. Also, because glue to me is a little bit, when you're looking at like cost of supplies, I feel like glue sometimes is a little bit cheaper than double-sided adhesive, depending on what double-sided adhesive you're using. Okay, assembling our second card. We're almost there. And the last one's, we've done all the hard work already. We just got to do the last little finishing touches that really make that pink card out of this world. Okay. Now I need to my head may have to get into the frame to do this. So just excuse my crazy hair if that's the case. Okay, there we go. Now it's flat because it's glued to this other piece of paper. Okay. Ooh, look at how bright that looks. Oh man, let's go ahead and take the adhesive off and get it ready. Hi from Michigan. Great to see you. I'm here in Tennessee. Tell me how everybody's weather is. My weather is finally getting to be feeling very summery and late spring. go right here. So it's kind of over the doorway. Oh, that looks pretty. And then look at this sentiment. So this sentiment is not just stamped. This is actually an extra one I had from the Better Press. So this is an Altenew sentiment, and I think it's from One Ghost. No, I think it's Versatile Sentiments. I don't know. It has a press plate, and so this is actually letter pressed. I don't know if you can tell that, but it's pressed down into the paper, which is kind of cool. I like that look. Ooh, it's hot in Florida. I bet it is. Ooh, South Carolina. So I am running on fumes with the end of the year. This year is almost the end of the school year, and I have my first ever senior. What a crazy time it is. It's wonderful and sad and exciting all at the same time. So, anybody else in that same position? Okay, look at that card. So here it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that raised area. Yeah. It's fluctuating a little bit between that here too. So we've got this one. We made this one today so far. So we got these two. All that is the same stamp set. We only had to do that stamp once, cut it out, and now we're going to use our final, I don't know what I would call this, the final like piece de resistance. I don't know. Is that what it is when it's like your final like masterpiece? I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know the saying, but we've got these two so far, and I'm about to bring out what I would say is the piece de resistance, which I'm not sure if that is correct or not. Just like laugh at me if I'm saying that wrong. Okay, so we've got these two. Now, let's see about this pink. This one is my fave. Okay, let's let it air out a little bit while we talk. Oh, somebody else has a college senior? Okay. Is college senior even worse than high school senior? Like as far as the emotions? Is that even worse? Because I feel like it's very emotional having a high school senior. All right, I'm going to go back to the overhead. Okay, what we're going to do with this one, I've got a second piece, and I'm going to put this on. We're going to get out my favorite die set. Hopefully I've got it out here. Let's just hope I put it in my pack here. Y'all know I've been obsessed. I've been obsessed. Okay, we got to cut out a beautiful thing from here, and we'll hope that this is dry enough to cut it out. So let's see what size we might want to use here. Got all of these arches. This is called Nesting Arches die set. And I think I'm actually going to hold up the original card because I love how much it turned out and try to figure out which arch I used. I think it's going to be this one, which looks like that one. Nope, that's too small. Let's go with the next size up. Anybody got a trick on these sets? Getting this off, I think I probably need tweezers. So this would be the fourth largest. Is it that one? Oh, that one. Okay, it's this one that I used. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the fifth size if you're looking at your set. Fifth size. It doesn't matter. I could do it different size. I just was trying to keep it consistent for you. So we need to cut an arch out of the exact middle of this. Okay. So I actually did, I kind of feel like I'm going to go this way. I got like a little piece of hair in there. There's a piece of hair in my paste. Nobody's going to notice, right? Except me. I cannot get it with those tweezers. Let's try some different tweezers. Probably it'd help if I had my reading glasses on. There we go, got it. Did you see that? I have like a little piece of hair. Okay, now if it's dry enough to have the hair, sure it's dry enough to do this. Let's go ahead and get my embossing plate out. We're going to cut the middle out of it. Yeah, I usually use a magnet, but here's the thing. Magnets have gotten so expensive that I'm trying to use the adhesive until I absolutely cannot use it anymore, because the magnet parts, just to buy them for all the things that I have, is real expensive. So I understand. I'd much rather have that on a magnet for sure. I'm actually going to line this up on my grid mat to make sure that I'm center. So I'm trying to center my arch up here. I would say about there, and I may do a teeny piece of tape just to hold that. Just a teeny one until I get it on the magnet. And then I won't use the tape because I don't want to get an impression in it. Okay. Well, okay. There we go. Yes, and I know there's still an extra piece of pink paper. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So we're going to send this through and hope that we're dry enough. Come on, be dry enough. So I'm sending it through the die cutting machine. Let's hope so. Okay, looks like it's dry enough. So we've got our middle piece out now. So beautiful. You could even use this on a different card if you wanted to, but I liked having them stacked together. So let me show you how I built this card. Stick my arch die over there. So what I did is I used another piece of pink. That's awesome, Rachel. Okay, so I see Susan said she just started collecting Altenew inks, and she wants suggestions to use sets of inks that are not on the inserts that Altenew sent. Okay. Do you mean to use like the sets of 4 with different sets of 4? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'm just going to glue this to the other piece, and then we're going to use a little bit of foam tape on the middle section, just to give it even more excitement. So we'll do some dots of glue. And I'm doing glue so I can move this around a little bit. And if I didn't cut my pieces exactly right and they don't line up, you can always trim underneath it. Look at how gorgeous that looks. Oh, that looks beautiful. Now I'm going to do some foam tape, and I'm going to pop the center up just ever so slightly. So we're going to use some Altenew foam tape. Like I said, I kind of hold on to this stuff because it's so good. I just am like, I got to conserve my foam tape use because I love this stuff and I don't have an endless supply. So I'm going to put some foam tape on the back. Yeah, Rachel's popping in links for what I'm using today. This stencil is really a fun one. It's called Serene Lattice, and it's been a great stencil for me. I've used it a lot. Kind of like that embossing folder I told you all about, Blooming Doily. That's a great one. Sorry, I have to have a sip of something. You can bend the dies when you take them off the adhesive, but have you actually like hurt one? Because then once you send it through the embossing machine, it probably straightens the die back out. Thanks, Joy, for letting me know that high school was more emotional, because I was like, if I'm going to get more emotional than this with a graduation, then I don't even know what's going to happen. I'm hoping that it's the most emotional one, because I don't want to see any worse than this. I guess once they're in college, you've got a little bit more, like, they're going out of the house and going to be gone. But this leaving the house and leaving the nest is a lot. A lot. It's good. Like, it's all good things, but it's just hard to go from that point of having a kid at home to not having a kid at home anymore. Oh, you did have one snap? Oh no. If that was an Altenew die that snapped, then you should contact them, or whatever manufacturer, then you would contact them, and I guarantee they would replace that, because that is not normal. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this lined up right in the middle, right where it's supposed to be. I'm sorry if my head goes in there. And sometimes you got to redo it. Don't worry. Just try not to leave a gap on either side. I'm a little bit, sorry, OCD about this, so trying to line up the patterns and just make sure I got it there. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Oh, I still missed that bottom section. Sorry. I still got that a little off. So the lining it up, if you're looking at your stencils, it can help a little bit. But it also does not have to be perfect. Okay? All right. Seeing what? Okay, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I'm interested in these tips that y'all are talking about. Sometimes you glue to the foam tape. Yeah, I did. I did that. I think that's the only reason I was able to take it off, because I did glue that. Okay, and look at this gorgeous flower on here. That is going to be amazing. And I think I'm going to use Friend. And let's see what we've got in our little things here. We've got Thinking of You. I have Thank You Very Much. I'm sure I have Happy Birthday somewhere, because I know I cut that out. And then I have some other things here. Oh, there's the Happy Birthday. We could do Friend, Happy Birthday. Friend, You Are All Kinds of Amazing. These are all things from that set. And then this is a really great one, but it's a little bit long. It says, some people just make the world a better place. You're one of them. But see how it'll kind of cover some of my flowers, so I hate to do that. I love the pink and white. Carrie, this one's my favorite too. This is my favorite. And then I have some extra just sentiments here that I could possibly use, but some of them are just a little bit long. I don't want to cover up that purple flower too much. So what about Friend, Thinking of You? How about we see which one we can cut the best, and we'll go from there. Or Friend, Happy Birthday was nice. I'm just going to try to cut those little sentiments, and we'll see what fits. So for this big center one, I'm going to do double-sided adhesive right here, and I'm going to add a couple little small pieces of foam tape to the edges where it hangs off. Oh, I like that. You're All Kinds of Amazing. That was a great one. It's just a little bit long for that card. Yeah, I saved the best for last, didn't I? Thanks for hanging in there with me. So I'm going to have that part hang off. I'm probably going to have this little flower part hang off. So I'm going to get just a smidge of foam tape. And that just helps it not fold up. Which one are we going to have hang off? Probably this one. So just a little teensy bit of foam tape right there. And then we'll do double-sided on this other part. I know, I'm so glad y'all hung out with me. Let me see if we got some more questions. What do y'all think that, like, when you're looking at a card, do you go ahead and plan it out before you make it, or do you kind of go with whatever just kind of you're feeling at that time? Do you usually have a plan, or do you see somebody's card on social media and, you know, make something similar? I'd love to know how you get your ideas. Okay, this pink and white one, that pink and white just looks so good together. This color of cardstock is called Frosty Pink. It's from Altenew, and it is, they have inks that match, so it really makes that nice. So let me go ahead and take the backing off. Okay, go tell me right now while we're making this one. So this is our third card. Our first card was the coral berry background. It had the blooming doily, and it was that pink card. I'll grab it for you. Let's vote on which one's the favorite, because I know a lot of people say this one's their favorite. Card number 1 was this. Okay. Card number 2 is the castle. And then card number 3 is this pink one. Tell me which is your absolute favorite. No wrong answers. So friend is going to need a little bit of adhesive, and then part of it's going to have a little bit of foam tape. Three, yeah, 3 seems like it's winning. It's my favorite too. I completely understand. I like being able to make all the different ones, but it was by far my fave. I think it's just that that background looks so good with the flowers. It just shows them off. Okay, so we'll go friend, and then we're going to cut out our sentiment. So things just to make sure that y'all know. 1 is a close follow. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it depends on who I'm sending it to. That's true. The pink one's probably not going to be sent to your guy friends, most likely. And some people are like real anti-pink, you know, like they just don't like the color pink. So if you've got a friend like that, then you need to send them a different color. But I think this would look good in like a purple. I think that would be cute. Going right about there. Hopefully I've got that level. We'll double check that's a level sentiment there. Yep. Okay, let's cut out our other one, and we'll put one of these on underneath it. And things to just make sure you voted, which is your favorite card. I'll show them all again so you can vote. And also, which of these ink colors, like did you love the pink colors? Are you a purple fan? Yellow? What would you like to see more flowers in? I feel like sometimes pink gets the star spot and the other ones don't. Okay, let's cut out one of these. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge. Let's see how we do. I think I'm going to go with happy birthday because I have more to hold on to. Okay, so I have a question. Thank you, Jan. That was over. Will I be doing anything with the foil, with the 3D gel for foil? I just got that 3D gel for foil. Has that already come out? Did it come out this month? I thought it didn't come out till next month. But anyway, I'm going to play with it. We'll see how it goes. There's also some other paste that I'm going to be playing with, but I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you what I think about that foil paste yet. Oh, that looks good. That cut pretty good. Maybe a little bit crooked right there. Okay. So I'm going to keep these for later, and we'll use the happy birthday again. And then we'll look at all these final cards. So remember, we've got a challenge going on. Make sure you don't miss the challenge. I like the shorter one because then I don't take up too much of my flowers. So I kind of like that short one there. Yeah, I love this set of yellows. It is my fave. Yeah, I do like doing some unexpected colors like teal or blue. That's fun too. I actually did that for next month's release. I did some blue ones. But I just feel drawn to pink and purple. Yeah, I'll play with it soon, Rachel, and tell you if I got any tips or not. I'm going to go happy birthday right about here. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. I'm going to hold that up to the camera. Look at that. And that stuff dried pretty fast. It dried while we were on camera. I would say don't dent it in, like don't stick your fingernail in it right now, but it is dry enough to die cut, so you know it had pressure on it. And that was with the white relief paste. This is from Altenew, and it's just plain white. You know, you've probably seen me use some of their metallics, but this one's just a plain white. So I think that. So my guillotine trimmer is Tim Holtz. I like having a small trimmer for things like lives, but I will tell you that my ultimate trimmer you definitely need to see is like, it's too big to pull over here. So for lives, I use the guillotine trimmer. That works fine for most things, but if you're going to do some serious paper cutting, I think you should consider looking at a more expensive trimmer. I would recommend a Rototrim, and if you want to email me, I'll send you info on that. It's a British brand, but it's really good. Okay, let's look at all the cards. See what we got here. Here's what we made today. We'll put them in order, and so you can make sure if you haven't voted yet. This is number 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you vote which one was your favorite, and then I'm going to make sure to wrap up and that you know how to do the challenge. Okay, so I'm going to write a couple things down because sometimes I feel like if you see it written down, you will catch it in case I'm speaking too Southern for you. Okay, if I can find a pen, how about that? Maybe I can't find a pen. Not a regular one. Here we go. Okay, so you're going to want to, if you want to win one of these cards, you're going to want to go to, let me do this, Altenew Fan Group. It's on Facebook, okay? And you enter by doing a floral card. So it's called the Altenew Fan Group. It's on Facebook. You're going to enter by one floral to make 3 different projects. And that is going to be different projects. One floral to make 3 different projects. What you will win is one of these cards. And I'll have a secondary winner who wins some backgrounds. And I'm going to just draw from the people who post. You have to post it in the Facebook group, okay? And you need to tag me. I am at Nicki Hearts Cards, okay? Just like my YouTube, Nicki Hearts Cards. It's going to be a mess. At Nicki Hearts Cards. Okay, so here is the info. Let's go with all this. Yeah, number 3 is your fave. That's good. Okay, let me show you some of the supplies so we can do that, and I'll answer those last minute questions. If you haven't done it yet, you definitely need to see my most recent live stream on the Fluttering Fantasy, so I'll pull out those cards as well. This was last week's live stream, and it will be on my channel. It is Fluttering Fantasy, so I'm going to try to show you. There's a nice reel on these. We did it a couple different ways. This one has vellum that is embossed. Sorry, all of it can't fit in there. And then we did these 2. This was from last week, so make sure you check that one out. If you're here and you're watching the replay, make sure you answered that replay question so that you can be in the drawing. Let me pop back on. I'm sorry I wasn't able to have my face up in the camera today to be able to talk to you a little easier. We had a little bit of tech issues, and we will get those resolved before the next live stream. So just hang in there, and thanks so much for being here. I appreciate all of you. Make sure you voted which one was your favorite, and let me see if there's anything else. Which of these are you going to try? That's what I'd like to know. Which of these are you going to try? Number 1. With the blooming doily. So this is called One Go Friendship Flowers. That's the main set that we used. And then this one has blooming doily in the background, which is that nice embossing folder. The color of the paper is called Coral Berry. This one uses Enchanted Castle Window. Okay, it's an embossing folder with the same set. It's the One Go Friendship Flowers. And then Have a Beautiful Day. I wasn't completely sure what set that was from. That was just an extra sentiment. And then last, which I think is most people's favorite, is this. We used paste. We used the white relief paste. and we used more of those flowers. So all of these flowers we just stamped one time and then did that coloring, and we had 3 different cards. So amazing. So on this one we did the flowers in the middle. We used nesting arches, and we used the stencil serene lattice. So make sure you enter on the replay for a chance at another $15 gift card from Altenew. Make sure you enter in the fan group for the challenge that will be up in the next hour or so, and make sure you enter that one. I can't wait to see what y'all make. Make sure you tag me. I love seeing all of your projects. And thanks so much for being here. If you're shopping today, make sure you use my affiliate link. And if you haven't committed yet, you only have a few more days of the free ticket for the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit. So make sure you commit, even if you're just going to catch the free sessions. Just go ahead and get that ticket today. There is a giveaway for that, and there are freebies and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't hurt to sign up, even if you don't make it. And I hope that's good. Let's see if there's any other questions. Oh, thanks, guys. It's tough to pick now that I see all 3. Thank you. If you didn't hit thumbs up yet, hit thumbs up, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you hit those thumbs up. That helps everybody find me on replay, and I will see you next week on my channel with a new video. I usually have new videos every Friday or Saturday, so just make sure you check that out, and I will see you soon. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Bye. Oh, wait, deadline. Okay, sorry. I saw Rachel's question really quick. The deadline to enter, which, can you read that? Sorry. The Altenew Facebook fan group thing. The deadline to enter will be next Saturday. Let's give you a week, okay? A week to enter. And then I will get you some cards in the mail, okay? Does that work for everybody? I'll put all that stuff in the pinned comment as well. So there'll be a pinned comment on the replay that you'll have. I will put it in the Facebook fan group. It's called Altenew Fan Group, and I will put it in my emails. So have a great day. All right, bye.